City and Orbital. Thanks for having us. This one goes out to all the commanders out there. It's called Victory. I hope y'all like it. 1, 2, 3, let's kick it.
Well, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world, guys. Thanks everybody for stopping by. Wow, pretty big crowd. I don't know if this is the most I've ever had, but I'm looking at over 400 right now, so that's pretty damn close if it's not the most I've ever had on YouTube. Thanks everybody for stopping by. I'm going to pre-apologize a bit for my voice. I don't have coronavirus, so it's nothing like that. I'm fighting seasonal allergies and stuff. So if you hear some scratch in it, and I'm sure by the end of this, with as much as we all have to say, that it's not going to necessarily get any better. So welcome. Here in a second, I'm going to bring in everybody else, but I just wanted to say a quick welcome to everybody, and also say I'm glad a lot of you guys seem to have enjoyed the video yesterday. Yes, it was in fact a joke. It was absolutely April Fools. It was pretty fun to read through the comments and tell the folks that clearly didn't watch the video, that either were yelling at me, please no, please don't delete your videos, or oh, you dumbass, you don't have to buy a carrier, like, why do you care how bad they are, shit like that. It was like, yeah, pretty obvious you just read the title, and thank you as always, Cement. And I even could tell the ones, like late last night, I even updated the title to say April Fools, and there's still people commenting that they didn't know if it was a joke or whatever, which I thought was even funnier. So yes, it was a joke. New content is coming, absolutely not going anywhere. And so yeah, let me go ahead and bring in the guys in Discord. Gluttony, Pilot, you guys say quick hi. Let's make sure that the folks can hear you guys.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Great. If you guys can just confirm for me on stream that you're hearing that okay, that would be great. Let's see.
Yep, all good.
Okay, I just saw an update from Aposto in our chat. Folks that are in our Discord, by the way, you're welcome to come listen in. I've got the channel locked at the moment for just us. We don't want to cut cacophony of people talking over each other. But if you want to come chat with us afterwards, I'm going to try to let the channel be push to talk. We'll see how that goes and if we can keep everybody chill. But right now, I'm watching the live streaming chat channel in the Level 11 Discord. So if you've got questions, and it's something you maybe want us to talk about or react to during it, tag me or us in there if you can. Oh, Pilot, you said nasty echo. Where are you getting the echo?
No, it was only in the beginning.
Okay, cool. So yeah, if you've got questions, and the Yamiks has joined us.
Yes.
Are we live on your channel as well, Yamiks?
Yes. Hello to horse beating, posse. Posse was like 3 people or something.
Nice.
Well, regardless, it's never carry on.
Well, hello everyone on Yamiks' channel as well. And Ascorbius is going to join us here in a second. He's doing a little intro on his channel as well. So we are going to be, I just picked a pretty location. That's the Pilot's Anaconda in front of me. Just picked up a little location for us to be while we were chatting. Oh, and I heard Yamiks is a little quiet. Let me turn Yamiks up.
Me? Oh, test 1 2, test 1 2.
There you go. I think you just want right at your
Compression.
if all of the Discord voices are a little low during, guys, I'll be watching comments a little bit, so just let me know. I can adjust that as we go. And with Yamiks' loud test just then, you guys confirmed for me that he's good. Oh, apparently Squatch thinks Yamiks is too cute. You got some fans, Yamiks.
I'm usually people call me basically a massive cunt, and my voice sucks and all that stuff. So thank you for being at least nice. I appreciate that one comment, and that'll get me through the day. So really appreciate it.
Some people just want to watch the world burn, so
Well, that's true.
That's the secondary option. I just recently, actually before the stream, I did play Doom Eternal. So yeah.
Oh man, I gotta say, I don't know about you guys, but I'm fucking loving Doom Eternal.
It has its issues. The thing is, I do prefer 2016 more.
Do you? Okay.
Mostly because of the color scheme, but the pace of Doom Eternal fucking gloriously quick.
Like, I haven't played it much yet. I've only got about 4 or 5 hours into it. I have to admit, and sadly, I've only been able to
at least understand basically what the pace of the game is.
Sure.
It definitely is faster, and it's actually the funny thing is you can follow it through. I don't know about you, but I just play and I'm like, oh, holy fuck, everything's just going so quickly, and yet I can still follow it through, because usually in FPS is when actually it's happening above. It's kind of hard to fun. So
Sure. And I've only got to play like 3 hours of Half-Life Alyx. I just haven't had time to get back to it. And oh my God, is it so damn good.
I finished it.
Okay,
Man, I
absolutely
finished
no
it. It
spoilers.
was-
No spoilers.
Mm.
I don't
No
even want to know
spoilers,
what
no
you
spoilers.
thought. I don't even know. I'm just so fucking floored by it so far.
All I can say is that when it released, I streamed it, got nauseated, whatnot else, then stopped for a little bit, then
Okay.
continued off stream, and basically brute forced my way through. 13 hours took me, the whole thing on hard.
Oh, really? You did it like literally just straight through it all at once?
Yeah, no, actually, no, not the straight through, but it was that evening. A couple of hours, the
Okay,
next day,
okay.
the whole day, and finished up on the third.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I got used
gotcha.
to eventually
know what?
the whole nauseating stuff.
You know
by
what? I'm gonna go the other way with this. I haven't been playing Doom. I haven't been playing Half-Life because I don't care about either of those. But
Heretic.
I did I did play Heretic, but they haven't made a sequel or a modern version,
Oh.
so you know.
Oh, old school Heretic was great.
Right? I've been playing Star Sector.
Oh, yeah,
Which
you mentioned
apparently
that.
it's actually really good. It's old school EV Nova with expanded mechanics, everything like that. I'm just in love with it. I really am.
Yeah, okay.
Grabbing Marines and going and raiding pirate bases and taking things over and just love it. Great. Give it a shot.
Additional then question. Ori. Anyone? Ori?
No, I
Nope.
haven't played that.
The Blind
Either the
Forest?
Will of the Wisps or the Blind Forest. Doesn't matter which one.
The
Anyone?
Blind
No?
Forest, yes. The Blind Forest.
It's absolutely fucking gorgeous.
Well, why don't
So,
I,
yeah.
if I can, I'm going to steer the conversation to the topic of the day, and first of all, make sure maybe I'll wait till Scorb gets here to do. I was going to go through and we'll wait till Scorb gets
Yeah,
here and
I
make
was
sure
just waiting
introduce
for
everybody. Yeah. That's all we're basically waiting to get started with here, guys. Is
Usually
is
we
for
wait
Scorb
for
to-
DJ, so.
And it's been a while since we've done one of these, and we'll get
Boy.
to it. We'll get to kind of our predictions. Let's see, Pilot. You put the bingo
Yeah, well-
card in the. There it is.
Yeah, I put it up on Twitter, but I can put it in your
No,
chat.
I
if you
got
like.
it. I got it.
Okay.
Is that something that we would share with everyone, or is that something just for us?
Oh no, you could totally share it on, but use the Twitter link, not the ones I gave you guys directly. I changed the title slightly.
Oh, okay.
I'll pull it.
Yeah, would you mind just DMing it to me real quick, or put it in the live streaming chat channel here? So we all went through and wrote down. I think we all did. I don't know if everybody did, but a list of kind of predictions of what we think. Okay, great, thanks. Of predictions for what we think is coming, and we'll see kind of. And then Pilot was nice enough to put those. Is this a link I would share with everybody on stream, Pilot?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
great,
you can
great,
give that
great.
to everybody.
Let me just make a little note of it. Join us for Fleet Carrier Bingo. And just to see like how many of us get the right predictions and stuff like that. A couple questions people have asked where I am. We're at Nervi, Nervi, Nervi 3A. We're floating around what's called Mount Neverest. One of the, I believe it is the largest known mountain in the game at something like 40 to 50 kilometers. So just for the pre and post stream, just to give you guys a little something to look at. As soon as the stream starts, we're going to, at least, I'm assuming Yamiks is doing the same. I'm going to bring their stream up live. Yeah, so we'll be playing the audio through it, so you can just stay here and watch. We'll try not to talk over it too much. We'll have obviously our own commentary. That's why you're
There's
here.
their pre-recorded thing, so
Right,
it's better that you watch our stuff than theirs.
That was my thinking, right? A little more interesting. I'll admit, I've been going for the last hour or so, because there's actually a couple thousand already over there. I've been commenting there saying, hey, come join us, right? I didn't post in the link, right? Because I didn't want to push it too far.
That's okay.
Right?
That's one thing I would never do for streams.
Well, like I said, I didn't
not
post
a
the link
thing you
in.
do.
Right. I didn't post the link in. Right. And I was chatting back and forth with their, with whoever's moderating. I think it might be Steven. I was chatting back and forth with him a little bit. So I wasn't I wasn't trying to be coy or underhanded about it. Yamiks, I did get a message from Zach about my April Fool's video. He sent me something. Yeah, he basically sent me a couple little meme things like the, like shocked reaction things. And I said, yeah, I was a little worried that, how you guys would take it. And if I would get in, that you guys would like be even more pissed at me or something like that. And I think his comment was, yeah, it cut a little close to the bone. And I think Steven and I lost a few years in the first half of it as we were freaking out, but it was all in good fun. So they seemed to think it was pretty funny too. Yeah, most people got it when they either
just
saw
leak everything I say, Then
Sure.
again, hey, that's
Sure.
me who's saying, who's just.
Yeah, most people picked it
Oh,
up
well.
when they saw no swimming pools, or that you instead of starting in the Sidewinder, you start in
Even
the Ask
I
the
got
Scout.
that stuff in my chat. I
Right? Did
God
you?
damn it, Exigeous. Because of you, my chat is constantly mentioning no swimming pools. I'm
Well,
thinking, wait, what was that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Exigeous thing.
Yeah,
God
yeah.
damn it,
Yeah,
Exigeous.
I wanted to start. I should have thought about it and started a hashtag no pool no buy, right?
Oh,
Because come on, they got to have swimming pools. I mean, even some of the stations have those little, those little fountains outside or inside. I
hey,
should
as
say.
long as they have cocaine room, I'm fine.
Hey, there you go.
Oh my god.
There you go. So, God, Scorbius, what are you doing, dude? He said he was only take 5
I
minutes.
have no idea. He forgot about or how to unmute, probably. He
Get
no understand the internet, I
ass
guess.
in here. I just DM'd him. Get your ass in here.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just start and kind of make sure we introduce everybody. We'll introduce Scorb when he gets here. For Yamiks stream, I'm Exigeous. We've got TheYamiks. Say hi.
Hey, I'm content creator known by the name Yamiks. Yes, I do potato and sometimes a video too. So there is that.
We've got the Pilot.
Hello, I'm the guy who flies things and pushes things through space and tells you how it feels.
And
Exploring back holes and holes and everything like that.
we've got Gluttony Fang.
Hello, I'm the founder of the Anti-Xeno Initiative, and pretty much just about things related to Anti-Xeno and the Thargoids.
And perfect timing, we have Ascorbius.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Tell him a little bit
Hey,
about
Scorbius.
Who you
yourself.
are and what does your daddy do?
Yeah, tell them about yourself quick, Scorb.
I'm a Muppet. I make videos and I do streaming. And we're here today because we want to see what's going on with the fleet carriers. And we all have
Blame
shared
Exigeous.
interests.
He pulled us all in.
I just thought this
throwing
would
you under
be.
the bus.
I thought it would be a little more fun if, if we all were chatting and, especially since, as I think most of you guys know, since they're not doing, since they're not actually doing this as a live stream, they're doing it just as a pre-recorded. And I get that, especially with, I'm imagining Corona had something to do with it. But
No.
yeah, right. Regardless, we figured that we could chat with you guys since they can't answer questions real time. And yeah. If I said this before,
I mean, they're not going to be answering stuff, so you might as well watch our stuff.
Yeah.
as I
we
said.
can't really.
Pilot,
You know what?
Answer,
I'm not going
but-
to complain. I really like their pre-recorded stuff a lot better anyway.
Well,
I really do.
I kind of agree with that too, to be honest with you. I don't think it's a bad idea all the way around. I mean, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
They want to get it right in terms of the messaging. Again, if you're in the Discord, and
Make
would
sure
like to
that
join us.
there are no technical issues.
Sure. If you want to join us in Discord to ask questions and stuff, we'll try to pay attention to that. The live streaming chat channel in Discord is where we are. If you want to try to ping us with questions there, go ahead. We'll try to pay attention to this. We all got our own respective chats up. We're going to try to pay attention to that with questions. It's obviously going to be pretty hard. I'm up to 650 at this point, so with that many, it's going to be pretty tough to follow along all the questions. I think a couple of my moderators are here, so if you guys happen to see questions I miss, you can try to put them in the live stream channel for me. Why don't we talk about a little bit of what we know, and maybe because we've got about 15 minutes here, a little bit of our predictions. I'm just going to kind of start as we've got everybody in the Discord now and go straight down. Scorbius, why don't you? I guess I'll state the things we know. We know 5 billion credits to purchase. We know that we'll be able to jump them. 500 light years. We know that they will require a fuel that we can purchase and we can mine. We know they've got 16 pads, mix of medium, small, and large. What else do we know, guys? Pilot, you knew.
We know that there will be loadouts, or at least customization. The question is how that will express itself. I don't know, but there will be apparently such things.
There's going to be a basic implementation of some kind of marketplace, a player-run marketplace, but no
Maybe?
actual indicate. No, there is in the official press
Oh
release.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
question is how much.
What does that
of it
work?
is
Yeah,
really-
Exactly.
Yeah. What does it mean?
Yep.
Is that an economy or is that a market? Because that's two different things.
Yep.
Well,
You know,
nobody knows.
is there, yeah, and anything? What else do we know? Is that's pretty much all we know for certain at this point. You know, I know when we were talking about it with our guys, one of the things I always try to make sure people aren't doing is like when you speculate too much in this game, you know, we all know that there's so much potential in it, and then a lot of times it's squandered. And I think we talk about features like it'd be so great if it did this, and then when that doesn't happen, we get disappointed, which isn't really fair because, you know, Frontiers never said it was going to do this. So then we get all pissed off that it doesn't do these things, right?
Hype leads to
Expectations
No
management.
Man's Sky, basically.
Wait, say that again.
Having high hope.
If you remember the history of No Man's Sky, that's hype.
Oh, very much so.
essentially.
Sure,
Well,
sure.
no, I mean, here's the thing, though. I mean, realistically, our expectations management should say, "Hey, look, don't theory craft, don't get your hopes up, and then you'll just be disappointed when they release something." Honestly, for the last at least year, I think we've all been pretty conservative on what we think is going to happen relatively because we don't want to get disappointed anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, look we're only comparing it to other games out there right now that already have these features that we're wanting to be implemented. It's not unheard of. It's not unprecedented.
Sure.
I mean, come on.
I think, like my biggest fear right now is that there's going to be some gotcha. Like I use multi-crew as an example all the time. Like we were all psyched about
5 billion
multi-crew.
is not already a gotcha.
Well, sure.
Okay.
No, well, I mean,
Yeah,
honestly, honestly, I'm going to admit, I think that is a very reasonable base price. I'm worried about the upkeep, right? But when you look at a fully outfitted cutter can be as much as 1.4 billion. 5 billion
1.6 actually.
Okay, fair enough, right? So
I
5
tested
billion.
it. It's just
Okay.
insane.
How much would a station be?
Exactly,
Let's look at
exactly,
it like that.
exactly.
You've got a mobile station.
Yep.
If you wanted to buy a station, you're talking trillions of credits.
I think
and
it's
upkeep up the yin yang. It's like you need to pay staff. You got all these things that you need. People keep crashing into the station. That has to be paid for somehow.
Yep.
That's actually what I'm worried about, though. Is that realistically that kind of system where you need an upkeep and it'll pay for itself if you have offer services or anything like that, that would be supported with an economy, not just offering things for sale or anything like that. And that's where I'm coming up a little hesitant, but I am cautiously optimistic.
You know what? I'm right there with you, Pilot.
I'm in the same boat.
I'm definitely more bullish on this than I normally would be.
And right now, I can say something with definitive certainty. My one's bigger than your one.
Oh boy. Okay. Speaking.
Good on you. Good on you.
Speaking of hype
Mine looks nicer.
surrounding the carrier and whatnot, what is each respective community expecting or hoping for out of this?
That's a good question. Gluttony, why don't you answer your own question?
Of course, that's actually what I was hoping for.
There you go.
So
yeah.
obviously, the NT's community is hoping that we will get it as a way for us to kind of vary between the Guardian space and also Humans bubble. This way we can help the newer players to get their Guardian weapons faster because that's more efficient in AX combat, and as well as being able to station next to a conflict anti-Xeno conflict, AX conflict zone, so we will be able to kind of stage more operations. So that's what we are kind of hoping for. I don't know what other communities are hoping to see.
I know.
I think the explorers are probably looking forward to camping out in the black somewhere.
Yeah, I got to think on the exploration. Well, on the exploration side, I'm looking forward to the idea of us being able to populate the galaxy with stations, right? Like I'm hoping that we will be able to, place a string of carriers, of bases, basically out to Sagittarius A, out to Beagle Point, right? Somebody's going to rush and try to be the first person to get one to Beagle and to get one. Yeah, oh, sure, right. You got to think Zulu Romeo, if he's still playing, who's the first discovery on Sag A, that he would love to get a carrier to Sag A, right? So I think that if we can do that, and one of my big questions I hope we get answered today is how is that access going to work, right? One of my predictions is that it's going to be like private groups are, right? That certainly I can't imagine all the carriers are just going to show without that, because what are you going to have 20,000 fleet carriers in Shinrarta? That's not going to work. So I'm guessing it's going to be you request access to it like a private group. Then the question is, does that private group, like, can you do it where it automatically accepts that request? I mean, we're going to find out here in a minute. So that you would be able to set up a station and say, hey, just request access and here's where it is. I'm already planning a fleet carrier registry for the EDTutorials site so that people can go and say, here's my carrier, here's where it is, here's how you would gain access to it, so that we can know, where all the player carriers are and have that all in one place, right?
I'm thinking, and I'm not going to get what I want, which was to burn the bubble and let's go populate the rest of the galaxy.
Oh
But
boy,
I think what we're going to get is micro bubbles.
I agree. I agree.
Specialized little one carrier for mining, he's going to park out there. Someone is based for trade, and he's going to park in the next system over, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you're going to be able to have these little micro economies that pop up that are just totally player driven, which really should be interesting.
I mean, I agree, right? Like I'm pretty stoked about this. At a minimum, I think I've said that as long as we can put, and some of these are assumptions, as long as we can bring friends along and we can say, hey guys, let's go down, this is Gluttony's point, let's go down to Pleiades and do some Thargoid combat. Everybody jump on my carrier, I'll jump us down there in one jump. Because I think the other thing to make clear to everybody, this is in-game content, guys. I mean, yeah, 5 billion at this point is not incredibly difficult for somebody to earn, but I think a lot of people might be looking at this as I've got to go have a fleet carrier, right? And these are meant for players that have got
it's actually
500,
incredibly more harder to earn than you may think.
Exactly.
It is.
No.
Right.
Right.
That's the thing.
Right. Exactly. And that's what I mean, right? And I think it's the kind of thing where you don't necessarily have to be pissed if it's not something you can get. Certainly when you're earlier in the game, like if you're under 1,000 hours, I don't know that you need. We're going to see, right? Like it depends on what features it offers. Our squadron, I'm grinding us out a Squadron 11 carrier for, so that we can, move guys around quickly on that don't have that level of credits and don't want to grind out that level of credits. Don't want to deal with the upkeep, right? And especially to your comment, Pilot, if it looks like, by players interacting with that carrier, they can basically keep it up for us. If that turns out to be accurate, that gives for some interesting, multiplayer and squadron use.
Yeah.
Right, and the keyword is a fleet carrier, so not necessarily that every player has to have one. A group of players can help to maintain and upkeep one.
Yeah, I want to comment on Hawks Gaming. Apostle shared a comment from him in the chat that he wants a big vault where he can stuff all his thousands of LTDs inside and then use a smaller ship to ferry them. That will massively surprise me. I don't see that kind of feature happening. Do you guys?
A shared storage system would be very convenient, but then
I don't see it happening.
Some downfall of it, so I'm not sure if Frontier is willing to implement that.
Yeah, that goes a little bit back
I'd like to see
cargo
storage. So like if you've been
that's what we're getting
low temperature diamonds.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so here's an interesting point. Everyone's in Boran right now mining diamonds to go afford the carrier. The first person who goes and camps their carrier out in Boran outside that ring and offers to buy diamonds at a decent price,
right,
but probably not too decent, they're going to make a killing.
Potentially.
You're assuming two things.
You are assuming two things. At least.
I am, but I think I'm right.
Be able to put it in Boran, and second of all, that you're going to be able to choose a location where you put it.
Well, I don't think it matters.
Honestly, expectation is just like with the current state of megaships that are player quote
right, like the Gnosis,
right?
Yeah, like the Gnosis. Yeah.
The players just basically give developers we want to put it in this system. They just spawn it randomly somewhere, and that's honestly what I expect. Because realistically speaking, obviously, a lot of people will have those thingamajigs floating in Shinrarta Desert and whatnot else. So how are you gonna, put them in a relatively spaced out place? Well, lo and behold, our Lord and Savior, RN Jesus, comes to help. That's most likely gonna be the thing.
I'll admit, I'll be pretty disappointed if we can't, to this point, specify.
Oh, be prepared, buddy.
Well, that I want to be able. Alexa, stop. Yeah, we've got 5 minutes, guys, till they go live.
Thank you.
I'll Alexa set it. Alexa, stop. Sorry.
All the dildos.
Alexa, buy that lube.
What is
Oh
the
my
point in you
God.
having
Alexa,
a fleet carrier?
order 50-gallon tubble.
Control
Yeah.
your Alexa. I
Um,
mean, come on.
So I'm hoping we can say, jump to now. One of the big questions that obviously raises is, can we jump straight to Hutton Orbital and places like that? Like, what's the control of that going to be? And we were talking before we went live about the ability to kind of groove people, right? You tell everybody, hey, my carrier's going to be here, come jump on it. A bunch of people come to it, and then you jump them 5,000 light years away, and they're all fucked. Well, I think it's going to be a matter of you got to trust the carrier you land on. Right, and you shouldn't be landed on carriers you don't necessarily trust. So I
That
think
basically means I got another episode of asshole tips. Fuck yeah!
Oh yeah, I think this is going to be a good one for that, right? So again, guys, we're going to play bingo during this. So if I'll paste in the message for that every so often. Moderators, if any of my guys are on, I'm going to put that right now in the live streaming channel. If you guys want to paste that in from time to time, if you want to come chat with us afterwards, we've got a lot in channel right now, but I'll try my best to open the channel to push to talk. I'm going to just ask everybody when you do that to please be chill. Let's try not to talk over each other. Try to get recognized with the question. We'll try to kind of call on people and do it that way.
The so-called radio decorum.
Yeah, basically, right. You're welcome to come listen with us. I do see that my stream is pretty, even though I set for ultra low latency, it's pretty behind us. It's probably like 5 minutes behind us, maybe. I'm guessing, everybody's on the tubes right
I'm pretty
now.
quick.
Are you? Okay. One of my
mine is
guys,
quite fast.
Maniac, said mine was pretty delayed. And just when I was moving my view around a second ago, I saw it in my pop-up window and it was pretty delayed.
I got about 20, or no wait, something like 10, 15 second delay or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't say minutes, actually. I said 5 minutes. It's probably more like 30 seconds is what I guess. Sorry, I
5 minutes.
didn't realize what I was saying when I said 5 minutes. Okay.
You guys
Somebody
look at
did
the
say
official stream?
Somebody did say
Look at
2
that
minutes. Yeah,
chat
yeah, I know.
flying by.
Yeah, I've got the official stream up too. I'm
Yeah,
just
I'm gonna be-
watching for it.
Getting
All right,
mine
we're
ready.
almost
2
there.
minutes.
Yamiks,
Yeah, 2 minutes.
how many do you have watching right now, Yamiks?
Currently on Twitch and YouTube together, give or take, 430, give or take.
Okay,
Yeah, 430. Yes,
Okay,
give or
I've got 50 on
Give or-
Twitch and 800 on YouTube. So between us, we're
Yeah.
we're
You
we're
bourgeois.
we're a decent percentage of the 5,000 they've got. So thanks. And by the way, thanks everybody for joining. Appreciate that you guys would spend your time with us instead of just watching the kind of boring version. We'll try to make it as entertaining as we can, starting here in the next couple minutes.
Reactionary.
60
All right, less
seconds.
than a minute.
Oh, okay. One of my guys just said my delay is about 5 seconds now. So okay, all right. It's just fluctuating. That's to
It'd be
expected.
great if it just simply crashed, frankly.
Come on, Frontier. Sell this to me.
Yeah.
I want Frontier to sell this to me. I really do.
So I've got my big long list of predictions. You know what? Actually, for those in Discord, I'm going to post in. We like I said, we pasted our predictions to each other earlier. I'm going to put mine in that live streaming channel if you guys are curious. I figure I'll put these in now. We'll see how right or wrong I am at the end.
Let me grab Discord onto the other monitor so that it's not being streamed.
Yeah, there you go. Good idea. Yeah, there you go. Good idea. Good idea.
Because I'm doing a window share, not a display, but it's
I'm doing
like,
the same. Yeah, I'm doing the
take
same.
no chances.
Another tip if you're
centers,
yeah, if you're showing your browser, you might do a Control-Shift-B and turn off your bookmarks bar. You don't need everybody to see your Pornhub bookmarks and such.
Oh
Yes.
boy.
Remember, you can order your porn in a specific.
By the way, have you
I
guys
see that you can do that.
have you guys
It
seen
says it will
the?
begin shortly.
Yeah, I'm watching it.
This
Have
is
you,
a family-friendly stream.
exactly. Have you guys seen the videos going
You
around
got
of
me on.
of
I
people?
tried.
Alexa, stop. Have you guys seen the videos going around of people like on multi-conference calls, or like 16 people in a big grid? And there's one where a guy's sitting there with his shirt off, right? And he stands up, and it's not just his shirt that's off. And everybody's
Oh,
like,
God.
"Oh my God, Michael,
No,
dude,
I have
what are you?"
not
Oh,
seen
it's
it.
so freaking epic. There's a few of them.
Rule of
Did you
And
watch
they're-
the one where the woman forgot she's on video and she goes to the bathroom?
Yes, I heard about. I didn't see that one, but I heard about that one, right? But the one like this dude stands up and he is just swinging in the wind, man. And they're like,
my God.
"Dude!" They're screaming at him like, "Michael, dude, what are you doing?" And he can't. He clearly doesn't hear him. He sits down, takes another sip of coffee, stands up again, and walks over, and they're just all like, "Oh my God!" Right?
I will promise my viewers I will not stand up. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I got no webcam, so I ain't got.
Yeah,
nothing
I didn't
to...
set. I didn't set
Oh,
my
it's
camera
starting.
up for this
It's
too.
starting.
Okay.
In 1 minute 54 seconds.
All right.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
bring-
I can jump more.
It started. Oh,
Yeah.
Nope.
I'm just gonna.
Why am I
limit it
waiting
a
2
little-
minutes? Come on.
Okay, there we go.
Are we
And
ready for this,
by the
boys
way,
and
like like my countdown for them right now is 1 minute 50, 49. Are we all pretty synced? Because some of us
about
might be
40.
seeing it a little. Okay, you.
132.
Okay, you're a little ahead. You're about 10 seconds ahead of me then.
As
our
it should
reaction
be.
is going to be very out of
I
sync.
was just thinking that. Right?
No, it's as long as you make sure that it streams the the last very second, and sometimes actually when I do rewatch my streams on live panels, they are not always at the very last second that it has been streamed, so you can always sort of push it a little bit further on the top.
And just quickly for my chat and maybe for everybody, let us know how the volume of their stream is, so that whatever that so that you guys can hear them and us, and that it's balanced pretty well. It's going to be a little hard for me to do. So as it starts, I'm going to watch the text chat on my stream anyway. If the video needs to be turned up, just shout out and let me know.
All right, 40 seconds.
All right, I've got 50, so
I
you're
can't
10.
stand this.
Yeah, you're 10 seconds.
That
ahead of
music
me.
is just crap.
Oh, I hate it.
YouTube, why you do
Yes.
this in the premieres? It sucks.
I premiered something and people were like, dude, why did you pick this music? This is awful. It's like, this was not me.
Elevator music, go.
And yeah, by the way,
is this Frontiers stuff, or is this YouTube like doing
No,
this?
YouTube-
that's
oh,
YouTube's
YouTube
own
does this.
premiere music.
yes, this is not, you cannot control this.
Because they want that corporate sounding
Yeah.
drivel.
Elevator music.
And yes, guys, I will turn up the music, the volume in a minute. I'm waiting for it to actually start playing. Because right now, this music in my ears is really damn loud, and I didn't want
Yeah,
to hear it.
Yeah.
I cancelled it.
Here we
Alright.
go.
Oh, where's bingo? Okay, there it is. Yep, here we go.
Work from home.
Greetings, Commanders. Thank you so much for joining us on this very special review stream. As you may know, a lot of us are working at home from the moment due to the ever-changing global situation. However, we have got this amazing pre-recorded stream with two fantastic people that will bring you everything you need to know about the upcoming Fleet Carrier release. While this is a pre-recorded stream, don't worry, the community team and our guests will be in the chat to answer any questions.
Okay, that's good to know.
We
They're
hope
going to
you
be in the
enjoy,
chat
and
answering
thanks for tuning in and
questions.
watching.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to the Fleet Carrier Content Reveal. I'm Stephen Benedetti, one of the community managers here on Elite Dangerous, and it's my privilege to bring you the Fleet Carrier Deep Dive, where we're going to go through and look at what all of these amazing vessels will be bringing to the Elite Dangerous galaxy. But don't worry, I won't be doing this alone. I have two fantastic guests with me who will help me to provide all of this information. I have with me Luke Betterton and Dav Stark.
Your
How
volume's
are we,
so
guys?
low.
It is.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good. How are you?
I'm
I'm
turning
good.
it
I'm
up.
fantastic. Really been excited
I've got
about
it
this.
full
Really
blast
looking forward to
on
it.
my
Thank you
end
guys so much
from
for
my
coming
guys.
through. But first of all,
I'm
for
gonna
anyone
do
who
it.
doesn't know,
We'll
Dav,
listen
you've been
to
on a
that a little
couple of
bit.
live streams.
Yep.
But would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. So, hello, my name's Dav Stotts. I work on the Elite Dangerous server team.
And we have Luke.
I'm Luke. I'm a designer on Elite Dangerous, and my current focus is Fleet Carriers.
Fleet Carriers, and that's a
Hello,
really
Luke.
good segue into the
Nice
next
to
question.
know you.
What have you guys been doing with Fleet Carriers at this time? What was your involvement been?
So there's quite a lot of moving parts to Fleet Carriers. So there's a lot of detail. There's within the player interactions, lots of transactions, quite a lot of new server mechanisms behind the scenes that we'll come on to a little bit later on. And also
like to
the
talk to your
server team
server
takes
team.
care of the live operations to
Me
make sure
too.
that you all get a good experience playing the game. And I'm there to make it all stick together. So I guess design is kind of like
Is he
the glue
wearing
that
a
holds
lab
all of
coat?
the
Yes,
individual
yes,
bits
somebody
together.
on my
It's
chat
all
already
towards
said
the
that.
gameplay and
It's
all
got
of
his
that.
commander
Making
name
sure-
on it if you
making sure
see.
all that comes together, and
Oh my
we
God.
provide a really good experience that's exactly what
Yeah,
we
I
want
think
to
that's a bid.
Commander feels good. Commander feels good.
Commander feels good.
I
like
have
that.
mixed
So, I
emotions
mean, that's
about
really
that.
important. So we've got two
That's
fantastic
Dav. He
knowledge
always
bases
wears them.
here to go through all of this
No,
because
it's
there's
Dav,
a
yeah,
lot to
he's
these Fleet
alright.
Carriers.
Yeah,
There's
no,
so
he's-
much
I-
information.
yeah,
There's
really
so much that can be done
bright,
with them,
brilliant
these
guy.
Big kind of endgame ships.
I see a
Really
burr
want to
pit mug
go
on
off.
the shelf.
So let's go through the really important.
Yeah, I was
facts
hoping
first,
Burr
the key
could join
questions
us.
that everybody everybody will be asking,
Yeah.
is the question that has came all around a lot, because it's been our response. How much is a fleet carrier? What is a lot? What is a lot of money?
A lot. It's going to be billions.
It's billions.
Billions.
It's specifically it's 5 billion credits.
5 billion credits, which
Yeah.
is just phenomenal. So this is obviously for a lot of gamers who have been asking for a long time and will have the funds available, or it gives people a challenge and a task to
Yeah.
kind of go towards.
Oh yeah, these are far more expensive than anything else you've ever bought in Elite Dangerous. They're right at the tip top of.
Quite a lot more capable as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These are
exactly.
huge.
So you get a lot for your buck, bang for your buck, kind of in
Yeah.
a sense. And not only that, they're individually owned.
Yep, absolutely. These are yours to command.
Yeah, we've done away with the association with squadrons that we originally wanted to have a go at, but yeah, we want to give these things to you individually as players. So that means multiple in your friends group. Even if you don't have a squadron, you can have a bunch of carriers that are working together, or you can have a sort of a whole fleet of fleet carriers for your squadron.
So they
Whole
did
fleet of fleet
decouple
carriers. That's quite a mouthful. It's an
squadrons
amazing
from carriers.
idea, having all of these fleet carriers for everybody. But also they
things to say
can
about
jump
that, or at least
quite
that's
far,
right.
can't they? How far can fleet carriers jump?
So it's using the same technology that you've seen jumping the mega ships and the capital ships around the game today.
Yeah, that's 500 light years.
500 light years.
So in one jump, you can bridge 500 light years.
And if you're
Come on,
careful with
guys,
your
get
fuel,
to
you
it.
can even get back again afterwards.
Oh, that's brilliant, and that's the amazing thing, is it gives so many opportunities for exploration to kind of go out, but obviously as well as for helping out with combat and mining, is situating yourself in these really good positions and situations to help provide for these other gameplays. It's just such a mammoth. So obviously we previously sent out a video, a trailer on fleet carriers last year, and some things over that time has changed. Obviously we had a bit more longer to kind of look at them, and we had a look and we decided that we wanted to make some changes. Can you just explain what those changes are?
We've made it more cool.
It's
Made it more
cooler,
cool.
yeah. So the original loadouts where we had things like exploration, bounty hunting, we had things that were focused around kind of the primary activities of the game, like the main sort of routes or careers that people take. And it just didn't feel quite as good as we thought it should do. So we looked at that again, and we realized that the answer is to make it up to the player. So as the owner of a fleet carrier, if I want to go bounty hunting, great, fit my carrier for bounty hunting. If I want to go out long range exploring, great, add a bunch of stuff to your fleet carrier that allows you to go exploring like you've never been able to do before. You can do a whole bunch of stuff with this. I'm looking forward to seeing what people do.
Yeah, and that's what's really interesting, is that we're going to go through this content review live stream, and we're going to show off some of those kind of key features as that goes. But don't worry, there's a lot of information to go through for these fleet carriers, so we're going to try and show off as much as we can, but we will also be having a content review recap over in the forums later on after this stream, which we'll throw the link in for when that goes live. So before that, we will start going through and looking at some of the key features, and we'll kind of discuss and go through that. But as a forewarning, this is a hot build, so we were able to get some images and videos to kind of show off. Some numbers and text might be subject to change, so please be aware that might come as time goes on, because as we said, we do plan on also providing 2 betas for this update, which we'll go into more detail towards the end of the video. So let's go in, and the first question I need to ask is, where can I buy a fleet carrier? That's one of the most important questions. Where can I get one of these?
So fleet carriers are created by Brewer Corporation. Originally, they're the manufacturer of the Coriolis
like, what the hell?
starports that you've seen. They're iconic to Elite Dangerous and even previous Elite games. And Brewer Corporation are also now the creators of the fleet carrier. That fleet carriers take a lot of stuff. So you'll find these sort of manufacturing locations near the central hubs of the powers or the superpowers, and any sort of very large industrial kind of hubs. The center of the populace of Elite Dangerous. I guess there's about 12, 13,
on
something like
order.
that. Yeah.
They're really big investments. So if you think about how big a capital ship is, the dry dock to construct it is even bigger.
There's a reason you're paying 5 billion credits for this.
The fit out inside, the crew to run it, it's a big endeavour, so there's not that many of them.
Yeah, and we can see just above us that we have an image of a station with a carrier construction service outside. Now, obviously these things are massive. There's no way that they're getting through the mail slot to get in and out.
You can have a go.
No, so obviously they have these construction services, but we're going to try and go through and purchase one and talk about the flow and how you can get your fleet carrier up. But these things are to indicate where you can purchase a fleet carrier.
Yeah.
You can't necessarily interact with them, but they're absolutely stunning. We can see one up close now, right there, but they're outside these stations to let you know that there will be a fleet carrier vendor.
Yeah, essentially that's the factory.
Yes.
You don't go to the factory to buy the thing, you'll go to the showroom, exactly, yeah. You go to the showroom and talk to someone who will set you up with one out from the factory.
Out from the factory. So we actually have a kind of image here which shows us where we can purchase a fleet carrier, because that's what we all want to know. So we can see here that we've got the fleet carrier vendor, so they will be in the contacts panel and the stations available, and you can go in and you can purchase a fleet carrier, and we bought one.
Yep.
Look at this.
Here it is.
So look at this, it's absolutely stunning. And as we said, these are massive ships with limitless possibilities and potential. So we wanted to make this purchasing feel really important. So you can see there's this lovely screen here which shows you the brewer saying, on behalf of the Brewer Corporation, you know, really making this a big deal, because to us it's a big deal. We want you guys, the commanders, to feel like it's a big deal for you too. So while we've got
see
that,
where it's gone.
yes, and that's another thing. Like we said, you can see here on the Galaxy, the system map, that there is a wee icon down in the bottom, which indicates where your fleet carrier. So like you said, we're not going to get them at the factory. Where do we get them?
So fleet carriers, well, we'll talk about how they move at some point very soon, but primarily they'll act mostly like the megaships that you've seen in the game so far.
Megaships.
So they'll be orbiting their own bodies. These things are enormous, and they need their own space to move around.
Yeah, and that's where we can find them. So once you purchase your fleet carrier, you then have to go towards the fleet carrier so that you can start enjoying the fruits of your labour, in a sense. So we jumped to our fleet carriers, and here's some shots of it. And as you can see, it is absolutely massive. It's got, how many landing pads does one of these fleet carriers have?
Jesus.
Are you trying to count?
Over a dozen.
It's got 16 landing pads, 4 medium, 4 large, and 8 small, I believe.
Fantastic. So yeah, you can see obviously how massive these are. You can see the comparison to some of the ships that are actually docked on it from here, and that's a large landing pad that we've got on there.
I think you got that wrong. It looks like there's 8 large.
And they are absolutely
I think this is
massive. They've got so much.
Maybe those are small.
But let's jump.
Well,
into
they're
what
just getting
happens
started.
when you actually land on a fleet carrier.
Yep.
This is the big reveal. So as you can see here, we are presented the fleet carrier service menu.
Yeah, so this is very similar to the Starport services menu, but fleet carriers, they're different operating system.
Yeah.
So
They are
this is
their
what
own
you're
thing,
connected
so
to
it's
now.
a new screen.
Yep.
Yeah, so as you can see here, you've got the fleet carrier service menu. You've then got something similar to the right of it. Like we said, there's a lot of similar features. So we've got like the crew lounge in there. We've got the livery down to the bottom right with different things. But there seem to be some of them greyed out, some of the options greyed out, and some of them highlighted. And why is that?
So when you first get your fleet carrier, it's got the basics. It doesn't have all of the optional extras because there's a cost associated with buying all the optional extras. You'll get the basics, and you'll be able to use that however you see fit. So initially, you've got you know some of the basics at your crew lounge, like you said, but you've also got a commodities market, a tritium depot, and carrier management.
And carrier management, but this tritium depot. What is that? What is this?
I
This is
noticed
the
there's
first
no
thing we've ever
outfitting
seen
on the
this
screen.
thing called tritium. What is it? What is tritium?
Yeah, no
Tritium
outfitting
is
to share.
the
Lovely
fleet carrier fuel. It's the fuel that has powered megaships and the Imperial and Federal capital ships for some time, and now we're making that kind of up front and centre, something that you can interact with and something that you can use to power your own fleet carriers and other players' fleet carriers as well.
Fantastic. So yeah, this is the new fuel, and you can get that through different ways to collect that stuff as well.
Yeah, there's a few places that'll be able to create their own tritium, but the main place you'll be able to get them is from icy asteroids.
Icy asteroids.
Yeah, normally you've got them from surface and subsurface deposits.
Fantastic. So there's a way, this is how you can jump in and actually move the fleet carrier around, which is fantastic. And the other thing that we discussed, so with the fleet carrier services, there's a bunch of them that we don't have available for us yet. So we end up with a standard services with our fleet carrier, and then that's when the individuals element comes into it. That's when we can start actually making the fleet carrier and making it our own and have that really interesting customization through that. So I think what we're going to do is have a look into the fleet carrier management service. So as we saw earlier, there was an option for
10 million a week.
We now have the fleet carrier.
Interesting.
Fleet carrier management service part. I kind of lost my voice there. It's just there's so much to look at. Once you first look at that, you can see all the information that's here. However, just it's important to know that will everybody see this kind of version of it?
So everyone can see some version of this, but this is with all the options down the left that you can see there. This is for you as the owner of the carrier. This is unique and special to you. You get a slightly cut down version of this if you're just a visitor at the carrier.
Visitor at the carrier, which is fantastic. So we can see that there's a bunch of different options, and there's a few that are greyed out, but we'll carry on to that. So the first thing that we really want to look at is the summary, as it's the first tab there. We'll start going through that. So could you tell us a wee bit about what this summary is and what does it explain?
So you can see a little bit of what we already talked about. You've got the available services, and you've got you've got some relationships with the local faction, or the local superpower rather. You've also got the ability to see whether you're currently able to make the changes we were talking about earlier to the way your carrier is fitted. But probably the biggest thing on that screen that people are going to be asking about is 25,000 units.
What is 25,000 units? That's exactly what I was thinking. Look,
25,000 units is a lot.
Just how big is your fleet carrier?
Yeah, it's inside that. There's space for 25,000 stuff.
So as we stated earlier, this vessel is used for moving around the galaxy, but it's to have things in it like different services, to have some ships in it, to have some modules in it, to have different stuff in it, and this helps you manage the capacity of what you can fit and how you can fit it around.
So currently you've got nothing. You've got a grey bar across the top that shows you what you've used out of your current capacity, and you've got a breakdown of how that's used underneath. Currently that's a bit boring. Because you haven't got anything.
Are you trying to say that my fleet carrier is boring?
For now,
we're going to go through and make sure that we're able to show everything else.
It's pretty cool, but I think we can do better.
We can do better, definitely. And the other thing that you said that was quite interesting there was this kind of superpower reputation that we're having with them. Obviously, that can be affected by certain things.
Yeah, if you're using your carrier, or rather, if you're enabling your carrier to facilitate things that the locals don't like, then if you get detected in that area, if players around your carrier are detected doing things that are bad, your local superpower is going to tell the local faction to send more security. That's essentially what that tells you.
And that's a good indicator, so you know if you're in the good books or in the bad books.
Exactly. So you've currently got the Empire, who are pretty happy with you being there. They'll send a minimal level of patrols
to make sure
that can go worse.
Yes.
That's if you get caught, though.
That's only if you get caught.
That's only if you get caught. So the next thing, which is really important, is probably one of the most important things on this this tab, is the navigation. So we can see that right now, the current system that we're in, we can see how much fuel that we've got, and we can see how far the jump capacity is. Now this navigation panel is really important, because this is how we move, isn't it?
This is how you issue orders to your bridge crew for jumping your carrier to other locations in the game, either an entire star system or a body within the star system.
Yeah, so you can either select the star system. So what you'll do is you open the galaxy map, select a nearby location. Well, I say nearby, anywhere within about 500 light years, apparently.
It's not that nearby.
And that's if you can jump to it.
Exactly. Select the location, and then your bridge crew will take care of the rest for you. But if you already know about certain places in that star system, so for example, the third body along has the icy asteroids, and you want to do a refuel, you could select that location and you'll be able to park there as well, which is the magic that staff has been working on.
Yeah, and that's what's really interesting. Like you said, you've just mentioned bridge crew and crewing. We will go into that a wee bit further down. That these are really interesting points, that you're going to be having crew, and you're going to have to run this crew and manage the crew, because you own the fleet carrier, but the carrier kind of runs itself with your management.
Absolutely,
in a sense.
It is its own corporation.
Yeah, these things are. Even if you're not online, these things are still there. They're still doing what you've told them to do. So they need a crew to manage them.
Fantastic. So that's really important, because if you have all these different facilities and crew, you're going to have to pay them. I assume they're not just going to do it out of the goodness of their heart.
No. Well, not for long.
Not for long, anyway. Not for long, anyway. So that actually brings us, as a good segue, into the next point, the budget. So this is the budget screen because, like we said, there's a high cost to buying fleet carriers, but you not only have high cost, there will be running costs.
Yeah, this is the top end, so there's a lot of costs involved. But for the players that are going to enjoy fleet carriers, this is pretty much in their ballpark.
The upkeep?
Yeah, this is about what they could.
Yeah.
This is their level.
So
of
far, I don't
finances.
find this
We've
too
run
bad.
the numbers.
We've run the numbers, they've worked. So can you give us a wee breakdown of what is available on this budget screen?
So at the top, you've got your carrier balance, which is pretty important. The carrier has its own separate wallet, I guess. It's got its own balance that is completely separate from your balance, but you can transfer with the button at the bottom that says deposit and withdraw. You can move funds between your carrier, or your bank balance, and the carrier's bank balance, and if your carrier is doing pretty well financially, back again as well.
So fantastic.
if
So
you can turn a profit,
I can take funds out of the bank and go off somewhere else and buy
Yeah.
something and come back and deposit it back in.
yep,
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
yeah. This is a great place to store all your stuff.
Yeah, and we can see also they've got like this weekly upkeep as well. Oh, where they're depositing, so
Yep.
we can. This is that. Yeah, this is like we were saying. We can deposit the money and then we can take
Big
the money
question
back out.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And we can see they've got this weekly cost. So obviously we're going to start going into that shortly. We're going to start discussing the different things that we can provide.
Yeah.
But there is an upkeep to these carriers.
Yeah, there's the services that you install and the people who manage the services. They take a salary.
Yeah.
And you pay for them, and they'll do exactly what you want them to do.
You look after them and they'll look after you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. And then this really interesting bit at the bottom, as people can see, is the tariff. What is
Tariff.
What is the tariff? Please explain this tariff to me.
It's your profit margin.
It's your profit margin.
You look straight at Dab.
Yeah, no,
What's the numbers?
Dab's really good at this formula stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So when you've equipped a service or installed a facility into your fleet carrier, by default it has a stock price. So, for example, when you've refueled your Sidewinder at the nearby Coriolis, you know how much money you spent on fuel. If you were to equip a service at your carrier that spends on fuel, then it costs the same amount of money to provide that service. However, there's nothing really in it for the fleet carrier's owner at that point, so they can impose a tariff. So, for example, if you set the tariff to 15% and you use one of the service costs what it would normally cost, and then 15% on top of that, which is charged to the commander doing the shopping, goes directly into the carrier's balance. And that's where the profit margin comes from, which is essentially the start of the return on investment for the owner of the carrier.
Yeah.
That's where the profit margin comes in. This is where you get something to withdraw at the end of the week.
Yeah, so if you want to head out to the other end of the galaxy and provide a service that players on the other end of the galaxy might really, really want,
Repair.
good one. You can charge a premium for that service. You can exploit the fact that no one else can repair at that.
I gotta admit,
at that
that's
location in the
potentially
galaxy.
pretty cool.
And, yeah, capitalism.
So I could be really sneaky and kind of take my fleet carrier out and go, okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to up the charge, and I'm going to make sure that you guys have to pay me more than the odds if you want to survive out here. Or you can go ahead and fleet carrier, but since you're here,
Yeah. You can risk it, or you can pay me extra.
or I could just give you the standard price if I want.
That's it.
Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
feeling benevolent.
Absolutely.
If I felt that way, if I was like, I like these guys, I'll do that.
Yep.
I'd do that for you guys. I'd do that for you guys. And the other really interesting thing here is, like we've said, this is a bank balance, and there's a lot of funds coming in and out and going stuff like that. What happens if I run out of money? I'm not very good with money, so I'm concerned. Obviously, it's a massive management service. There's a lot to it to keep on top of, and to make sure that things are working. And like we said, a lot of our commanders will have the funds to equip this stuff. But what happens if I'm a commander? I've got the 5 billion. I've not got too much money. I spend a lot. What will happen then? What will happen to my fleet carrier?
So some transactions will work and some will not.
Yeah. If you don't have any funds in your carrier's bank,
Or
enough funds in your carrier's bank, certain things will just not work. You can't afford those things to happen. You can't make new purchases for new commodities that you were trying to buy or anything like that, which we'll go into in a little bit. And if you can't maintain the weekly cost, at some point you'll go into debt, which you'll then have to pay off.
But I can pay it off.
You can absolutely pay it off. Yeah.
Fantastic.
We'll go into a little bit more about how that
affects things later on.
It's complicated, but it's very fair.
And that's what's really interesting about these fleet carriers is when we were putting this all together to present it to everybody, so many things touch on so many other things. It's hard to do a breakdown that is just so linear because your costs go to your crew, crew go to the services, and the commodity markets have impacts. It's so vast.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
It's incredibly complicated. Well, it's complicated to actually explain, but when you actually start using it,
It does just work. We've tried our best to integrate it into the gameplay mechanics that you've been flying around for as long as you've been playing the game.
Yeah. And again, with all the information that we're providing you today, we will give you some more information over in our content review post, where we'll go into more depth of these informations and answer your questions after the stream. But let's continue on. So that's we've got the budget. We're making money now. We've got fleet carrier stuff, and I've put all my funds in. There's some other services that we can show off, and I think the next one is commodity trading.
yeah. So if we continue down the list, the next one of the sort of the core services, the things that are fundamental to your carrier and they're always available, is the commodity trading facility. This is good because this is something that we've never done before in the game.
This is a little new, a little bit different.
This allows you to request at your fleet carrier a certain commodity. So if I wanted to say, I want to get 2 gold, I can say, I'll buy 2 gold at this price.
There
and
it is.
NPCs don't do that.
Finally,
Other
dynamic
players fulfill that
markets.
order.
We'll see.
Yeah.
That's
Thank God.
player-to-player trading.
That's player-to-player trading.
Wow.
You heard it here first.
Wow.
Player-to-player.
Absolutely. So the way that the fleet carrier commodity market works is a little bit different to some of the faction-based NPC markets you've been using in the game. So the owner of the carrier now sets purchase orders. So for example, they might say, I wish to buy 2 units of gold and I wish to offer, say, X hundred credits for it. As soon as you issue that purchase order, we will reserve that amount of capacity in your cargo and this amount worth of credits from your balance to cover that purchase order. Likewise, if you have a surplus of commodities within the carrier, you can list them for sale at a price you set. The one thing that carriers don't support is the idea of a dumping price. So one of the things that the economy-based markets give us is the ability for commanders to sell anything for a small amount of the true worth of a commodity. But fleet carriers don't support that because it's not really within the control of the owner. They don't know how much space it would take up or how much credits it would take up. So this is absolute explicit control.
Yeah, amazing, and you can see that with the commodity trading. There's a lot of information that we can provide for them there. Different, you can see the total inventory, the amount that you've got as well, and like we said, we can put up. Earlier on we had liquid oxygen there that I put on there, so we can have a look a wee bit later on of what that will look like. When we go back into that. But the next thing we've been talking a lot about, crew services and these different facilities that we've got here. And I believe that there is a section where we can manage all that.
Yes, so this is where
They
you
don't even
hire
show
new
how
crew and
much
fit
they
new
will cost.
services,
What was the
essentially.
try?
So anything that you wanted to do with your fleet carrier that you might have seen on the starport menu, the items that were greyed out, this is where you would add and fit those services and enable your carrier to support those things.
And what we'll do is obviously with this to show you it all, we'll go through and we'll purchase everything. We'll give you a kind of brief look into it. But obviously, when we said earlier, the 25,000 units of capacity that we have for the ship, it's important to remember buying everything all at once might not work out as well. So you can see that we've got the 3 standard ones there, but these we're going to also just quickly purchase all the additional ones. To have a look for that and then go through them. So you can see that
Look at the
there's a
costs.
cost here, there's an installation cost. And we've used
There's
an
even
example of
costs
a
even
refuel station
suspended.
because I believe that you can get
Look at those additional
different
costs,
services through that.
though.
So you've got the
Wow.
refuel station, the repair crew.
2.5 million a week for
there's
refueling.
a whole bunch of stuff.
There's a whole amazing things there.
Basically, things that you can think of doing at the
question
normal
is, are
starport
these
are now
crew,
available
like,
for
some
you
of the
in
better
a
and
sort
some
of
the worse?
completely player controlled
Good question, yeah.
to do at your fleet carrier. They won't really replace starports, but they allow you to do very specialist things and do them how you want to do them.
Yeah, and we've got, so we said, we've got refuel station, repair crews, the armory. We've got a redemption officer, which is a new thing as well.
Yeah,
Shipyards,
it's brand new.
brand new, outfitting and secure warehouse, and we'll go through this all. But the thing with these services, I've said, there's a weekly running cost. What happens if I'm not using a facility enough, or if I decide that for a time being I'm going to be doing a couple of jumps I don't want to use this facility anymore. Is there a way to stop these or get rid of them entirely?
Yeah, so the carrier administration service, which we talked about earlier, which is it's not a carrier service per se, it's a service granted by starports to fleet carriers that are nearby within the same star system, allow you to purchase the new facilities, but they also allow you to return those facilities. So if you bought a shipyard, for example, you could take it back to that location and get rid of your shipyard, and the crew would return with it as well. They'll find something else to work on and go about their business. But if you don't want to get rid of a service entirely, you've also got the option to allow the crew who are manning that service to just kind of chillax for a bit.
Chillax.
Yeah.
I like the term.
It's good, right?
Chillax. Cool.
So you can suspend the service. So for example, if you're doing a long-range journey, your carrier has been fitted exactly the way you want it, but you want it to go 1,000 light years that way. You probably don't want to run the services for the entire time that you're jumping. You're just sort of moving the carrier at this time. So you can go through and suspend all the services and lower the running costs, because they take a much reduced wage when they're not active.
They're not active because you want to keep them on board, but
Yes.
just for now, please stay. Use a bit of money doing that stuff. Interesting. So because we've just went through and we bought all those services and added to them, we're going to show off some of the additional services that you can purchase and use in your fleet carrier. And I think the first one that we've got is secure trading.
Oh,
So this is another interesting one as well, because it looks quite similar to the commodities market. But what's the difference?
Secure warehouse. This is a little bit new again.
Yeah. So the secure warehouse.
Are we bringing
is,
more new stuff?
Yeah, more new stuff.
Amazing.
Yeah.
More? Why not? Just add more. So the secure warehouse is almost a one-to-one copy of the commodities market, but with a really important caveat. If you have a stolen good and you want to get rid of that stolen good, you can either go to a starport, you can ferry it the whole way to a starport, sneak it past the system authorities and sell it at the black market. Alternatively, if you don't want to do that, you could also give it to someone who owns a fleet carrier. So you can head to a fleet carrier that has a secure trading, and if they want that good that you've got, then you can sell it there, and they'll store it away from prying eyes.
And they'll give you the credits for it.
And
This
they'll
is
pay you for it.
this is buying and selling stolen commodities.
Yep.
That is
Doesn't matter where you got it.
this is
If it's
interesting.
stolen, you can sell it and buy it here.
So this is not only the opportunity to, like a lot of people are, wanting to be the good guy out in the galaxy and have an honor of code. There's also really room and availability for people who want to be a wee bit sneaky.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's worth saying this is not illegal commodities, because the fleet carrier doesn't have the concept of jurisdiction, because you own the fleet carrier.
So it's your representation.
Exactly. So legality isn't an issue, but stolen and ownership very much is.
Yeah. So again, this is another way that we're showing the fleet carriers our representation of what you want to do with it. How a commander who owns a fleet carrier, it's your carrier.
Yeah. So if you and a group of friends want to go stealing, why would you want to do that? That's terrible.
Thieving.
How
Thieving.
horrible.
Yes.
But if you did,
Because it's amazing
then
fun,
you
that's
could,
why.
you could head across the galaxy, steal a bunch of
Go
stuff from
stealing.
people who weren't expecting it,
Yep.
ship it onto the carrier, bring the carrier back, park it nearish to a starport, and then you can do your little smuggling run from there back to the starport.
Just like casual.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Exactly. So that's another amazing feature that we've brought, but we're also, one of the things that we saw at the start was a greyed out shipyard.
Yeah.
So we're also having the ability to buy stocks of ships, which we can then offer. Is that correct?
That's interesting.
can
The
do,
shipyard.
So
This is your capacity starts to
Okay, now
go
I
away
actually
very
can-
quickly. The 25,000 might have sounded quite a lot.
But Type 9s are big. They don't flat pack that well.
there's no IKEA option on the Type 9.
Assemble your own Type 9.
Man, that would take a lot. The person that throws out the instructions would be regretting that.
No spanners included.
So yeah, we've got the shipyard stock, which you can purchase different kind of versions of ships. Is that correct?
It's the same versions of the starships that you'll have seen across the galaxy so far, but this is a limited stock that the owner of the fleet carrier can purchase for sale from their shipyard, again subject to the same tariff that you'll have set earlier on.
Yeah. So if you want to, stock some trading ships for your mates, and you're going to go and sell some trading ships in a location that might be convenient for people who otherwise wouldn't have access to a shipyard in that area, you can hike up the price to make it worth your while to do that.
Yeah, and the only way
It's
you
pretty
can make
damn
this available
cool.
is by having this service.
Yes.
So if you want to have like certain ships, like if you were into say for instance racing, and you found that there was the pack with the stock that has the Mamba in it, you could then use that. You could then make sure that you've got the Mamba for people to go out racing if they want to purchase one.
Absolutely.
Amazing. And on with that as well, to keep that momentum up, we've also got outfitting stock.
Yes.
So
yeah, you can have an outfitting service that you can stock in
Okay.
basically the same way. Now there's a lot of stuff.
I have
There's a lot of modules.
There's a lot.
So you don't get to select the individual modules, but you do get to select these sort of the type of modules that you want your crew to be stocking for you.
Do we get
So,
A-rated?
There's quite a long breakdown of the various different types of modules you can fit into your carrier.
It's by theme and by quality as well.
Yeah, so as you can see across the top, this one kind of says tier 3 out of 3. So of that pack, this is the highest quality and the largest amount, which means that you can customize your stuff. Either you can sell stuff to newer players and hang around sort of the newer areas of the galaxy, or you can go a long distance and take the really expensive stuff.
Brilliant. And we're going to show with both the outfitting and the shipyard, we're going to show later how you can access that from the camera. But you can see here we purchased the top tier one, so we can have a wee look at that as well. And the next thing that we can do, this is just like most ships, we also have a livery, I believe.
Oh, what a surprise!
Oh, imagine that. I predicted that
I mean, these
in my
things are so
April
customized
Fool's
on
video.
the inside. It makes sense to.
I
customize
predicted
the
it.
outside as well, right? Sorry, that was bad.
That was apparently as I took a wee sip of water there. No,
Absolutely.
of course. And like we said, we've got a lot of different options within the livery, just like you would with your standard ships. We've got different paint jobs. We've got obviously
Will there be a ship
layouts
here?
that we can choose from. You can change like the engine colours and things like that, which is really cool. And you can go and you can put it to your own so that you can match your own preference, or if your squadron had a certain colour or anything like that. So you can do the same customisation that we've made available for ships, but just on a larger scale.
Yes, I mean, not every paint job would fit a fleet carrier.
No,
Oh, of
if
course
they've
they have
got their
their
own
own
set.
stuff.
They've got their own set ones, yeah.
What a surprise.
And next, probably one of the most important
Microtransactions,
ones here as
folks.
well. I always feel that there's such amazing things that you can do around fleet carriers by getting these services in, but it's really important for the amount of control that we give the players for that. And the next version that we have is the settings.
This is what I
So
wanted
can
to
you
know.
explain what the settings
Yeah,
of
this is
your fleet
important.
carrier provide?
So the main things are you can control the docking access that the air traffic controller will, the sort of people you want to be docking at your fleet carrier. So the same way you request docking at a starport, you have to contact someone who will tell you your landing pad and whether or not you're allowed to dock. You get to control exactly what.
There we go.
Exactly the sort of player that you want docking on your carrier. So if you only want your friends to turn up and you don't want anyone else to use your carrier, that's fine.
So you have to at least be squadron or friend.
That's fine. If you want your squadron,
Right,
not
so I
your
think I
friends to
called
turn
that
up.
in terms
Weird,
of like,
but yeah, you can do
like
that.
You
private
don't like your
groups.
friends, but you like your squadron.
But likewise, if you're one of our many
everybody
players
will-
who prefers
you
to
can
play
make money
solo
off it.
online, we absolutely
Well,
support
depending on
that
what
too.
you're
So you can say that
doing,
nobody apart from you
If
can
you're a
dock and use
caravan,
your own
or
carrier.
commerce, or
You can always dock at your fleet carrier. So
Yeah.
if you turn that off, no one else.
No
can
one
use it.
else. I mean,
want to
sometimes
sell
there's
your
lots of
friends
different
cheap
ways that
stuff,
you
you
could
know.
use that. None
So
as
far,
well.
I
You could
think
be like,
that's-
"Right, guys,
that's
I need to restock
seemingly
this
a good
stuff
way to
sorted
do
out.
it.
I don't
Yep.
have time to deal with this. No one can stock on this for a wee time."
I just
And
like
we were
the
also
fact
talking about
Extras
the
on
fact
top
that when
of
you
all is okay.
when you suspend, I think if you go away on holiday, you wanted to suspend it and stop people jumping on it, because these are persistent in gameplay.
They are.
Oh yeah,
yes, they're
they don't go away.
permanent.
They don't go away, so they'll be there the whole time. So you're going to have to manage that, even if you're away on holiday. If you're jumping in to do something else, make a cup of tea, you need to make sure that these are all there, and that's why crew is really important as well.
Yeah. But that's not the only thing that affects docking control though.
No. Next up, you've also got the notorious commander access.
The notorious.
Yeah. So this is very much player versus player content. So this is a way of, again, making sure that commanders who own their carriers can engage in the play styles that they wish to engage in.
Yeah. If you're into PvE and you really don't want the people who are PvPing to use your carrier to their own advantage, even if you would make a profit off them, you can set that here.
So if you just have it really grumpy and you're like, I don't want these people anymore, they play me up, they're not getting on, you could, but that's the freedom.
That's-
Yeah, it's just a straightforward piece of control.
Yep.
Letting people do what they want to do.
That makes sense.
Exactly. Now, this is probably, I know it's not one of the biggest features of it, but it's probably one of my favourite features.
Yeah.
It's cool, right?
Is
I like
the
it.
next
Yeah.
one. It's basically, you can assign at the start, you saw from the Fleet Carrier Service menu, you actually saw that there was, top left of the UI, you can see that there was a kind of a banner.
So it was a big backdrop.
Yeah, there's a big backdrop there. It was a nice banner. You can actually customize it. So obviously, since I went through and I collected some of these shots, I have customized it, and you'll see what I customized it to later, but there's a whole variety of different ones here. Everybody could probably guess what I chose, but you can see that there's a lot of different ones here: trading, mining, piracy, everything.
Absolutely. So this is the list of player activity types that we introduced in one of the updates, and this is the way of players advertising the theme of their carrier. Because you've got so many different customization options, this is your chance to use one of the game's existing labels for that, and it appears in the left-hand nav panel as well as on the fleet carrier services menu.
Yeah. So if you're heading towards a carrier, you target that carrier, you look at the navigation panel, and you see a list of activities at the bottom. That's basically telling you what the player wants to tell you at that point.
Exactly.
That's your advert.
So everyone can kind of see what's going on when you're jumping in them. Fantastic. And then I think the last option that we have is very important. This is called decommissioning a fleet carrier. What does decommissioning a fleet carrier mean?
So this is
where one of the moving parts comes in.
So there's a lot of stuff that you can do with a fleet carrier, but there's a lot of stuff that other people can do with your fleet carrier if you let them. Other people can park their modules on it. You can store ships and you can store modules freely if it's a shipyard and the outfitting services are enabled. You can, as the owner of the fleet carrier, you can store a whole bunch of commodities on it, and you'll have got all of your services and all of the stock for those services fitted into the fleet carrier as well. But should that become a little bit too much, or let's say you're going on holiday for 4 weeks and you don't want to have to deal with this, that's fine. Hit the decommission button. We'll give you a little time to make sure that that's exactly what you want to do, because it's a big investment, and you're only getting a portion of the investment back when you decommission the carrier. This is your option to do that. Mm-hmm. A week out, I think it's a week, and the next sort of weekly update, the server maintenance, when that happens, we'll take away your fleet carrier for you.
Yeah.
And it'll become basically like an immobile fleet carrier that players can pull their stuff off for free.
Yeah, so it still exists in the game, but you can't dock at it.
Interesting.
But if you
Okay.
dock at another market that has a shipyard or a module storage, you can transfer your property away from that whilst it's in the decommissioned state.
Which is really important, because one of the biggest fears is obviously these things going out for such a distance, and you losing any of your ships or anything that you've stored there. And the really important thing is that you can still get that back. You guys have made it so that that fear is gone. People can don't worry if somebody's getting their fleet carrier decommissioned. And again, if you feel the pressure of a fleet carrier is too much, if you want to change things up a wee bit, you can always try and pat the parcel and get some of your friends to use their money. Get them to pay for it.
Exactly so. And at the end of the decommissioning phase, whilst the owner of the carrier will get a decommissioned value back based on the salvage condition of your carrier and all of the items in it, other players' property does not get deleted. It gets transferred to a place of safety.
Exactly. Now I think that's really important, which is amazing. So now that we've went through the whole carrier service bit, we want to see what effect this has actually on our fleet carrier and what has changed from the beginning, because now we have unlocked everything. We've just through a kind of wee bit of, we've bought a couple of commodities, we've bought a ship pack, we've bought a modules, all the storage stuff, we've bought them in, and we're going to go and see what that kind of looks like on screen.
Before we move away though, it's worth noting that because there's an awful lot of information here, we have spent some time writing this out inside the player's handbook.
Oh yes, that's so important. That's extremely important. I almost jumped away from that there.
We're skipping over a lot of stuff here.
Yes.
We're only briefly touching on a whole bunch of stuff, and yet we're still going to do a whole hour on this.
Yeah, so for those of you who are watching in-game, you can read it in-game.
Exactly. You can find all this information in the Pilot's Handbook. It's filled with all of information, just like other things that we have in the game. It's all in there. And like we said, this is 1 hour that we're trying to
I want to know what that
collect
50%
information, and because there's so much information
timer
on
thing in the
these,
top right
we do
is
have
that the
the thread that's
cooldown
going to
for
be
jumps?
opened up in our forums. On our forums,
Is that
it's
fuel?
going to be
Okay.
all that information for you. And we obviously announce that in all of our
I guess
social
it was the
channels,
symbol,
so you
wasn't
go
it?
over and ask
Okay.
any questions. But also, towards the end, we'll have a beta, and everybody can come in and have a wee chance at that.
Yeah, a lot of this will make a lot more sense when you get your hands on it.
Yeah, and it's so much information, and this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah,
as it goes. So let's see if we can jump in and see the new menu. So as you can see,
congratulations, you went for bounty
hunting. I went for bounty hunting.
What a surprise!
If any of you saw my streams, I am the best bounty hunter on the planet.
At least
the
you're
galaxy. On this planet.
At least you're on brand.
I'm on brand here, and you can see now that there's a slight difference. There is some highlight, the ones that were graded before are now highlighted, which means that we can kind of go on and use them. So things like the redemption office. Could you tell us what a redemption office is?
Yeah, that's a new thing.
Another new thing. We just like giving you guys new things.
New for fleet carriers.
Yeah, so the interstellar factor has been around for a while, and if you know what the interstellar factor is, this will probably make a lot more sense. The redemption office allows you to hand in any vouchers, bonds, or any sort of transient labels that you can get money out of back to this contact at your carrier, and that, yes, they take a cut. Some of that cut goes to the owner of the fleet carrier, and the rest goes to you. And you can do that anywhere in the galaxy.
So that's really important because the fleet carrier gets something out of this. This is why they might want to facilitate that. But also, it's really handy, so you're not having to jump miles away if you've got a bond.
Exactly. You pay as from the point of view of the commander shopping at the fleet carrier. You do pay a premium for this. It is a convenience, like the interstellar factors is a convenience. You do not get full credit for your vouchers, but you have the benefit of being able to do it anywhere there is a carrier, rather than having to travel all the way back to the jurisdiction of the faction that issued the voucher.
Exactly. Yeah.
And one of the big ones in the middle was this shipyard. So let's have a look. So this is the stock that we purchased previously.
Yep.
Which you can see we went for the Type 7 transport, and it's got certain options. And you said there's a limited stock.
Yes, absolutely. So this is one of the places where this is now different to the economy-driven markets around the game. So yes, this is the shipyard interface that you're familiar with from the live game at the moment. You can buy ships, but this time there is a finite number of ships. Depending on how many the owner bought, that's how many there are to purchase. For the credits value, that's the stock price that they paid for it, plus whatever tariff the owner has set. It's worth noting that when the owner is shopping at their own carrier, they do not pay a tariff to themselves. But likewise, it's a fully featured shipyard, so you can buy a ship, you can part exchange it, you can store ships, and you can transfer ships.
Yeah. And you don't need to micromanage any of that part exchange stuff. That's all handled automatically.
Yes, this is part of the crew that you've hired to take care of the service for you.
Those lovely crew, I love them more.
They take care of all of this for you. You just click the buy button.
The buy button, and then and similarly, we've done the same for outfitting. We bought some stock of different modules that we would like to sell on our fleet carrier.
Oh, come on, confirm we can get A-rated modules. I'm going to assume it from this, but...
Yeah.
And it's quite similar to the...
Exactly. Same mechanism, same outfitting interface.
Yeah.
You can still part exchange, you have module storage. You can sell modules.
How much module storage?
If it's a core module within your ship. But the only stock that you can choose from is the finite stock purchased by the owner of the carrier.
Yep. Which would be really good for things like mining, combat, and different things to explore them through this way, which is all accessible here. And I think the next part we have is previously in the video we had purchased certain commodities that we put high on price, we put low on price, and this is where you can then purchase it.
Exactly. This is the same commodities market from the point of view of a commander shopping at your carrier, but this time when you look at the sell list, it is only what commodities have been listed as a purchase order or a sale order by the owner of the carrier, and at the price they mentioned. So this doesn't use a tariff, this is an explicit price, and only at the quantities set as well. There is no dumping allowable. You cannot buy something that is in stock but hasn't been listed for sale.
Yeah, exactly. And the one thing that I have noticed when we were doing it is it does look a wee bit empty.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we mentioned earlier was trading.
So this is, again, more new stuff.
It does. We may have heard requested feature from one or two commanders.
Just one or two.
Yes.
Oh, it looks like we can store
is there somewhere
commodities.
that we can store our commodities, please?
Yes, we can.
Ta-da! Fleet carriers.
You can have
Wow, that's
25,000
huge.
storage space. Essentially.
That's huge.
If you wanted to use it just as a storage space, that's exactly.
EIC is going to
And
love
this
that.
is for the fleet carrier owner only. They can go straight, if they've landed with their ship on the fleet carrier, they can select, as you can see, I've got certain commodities that I've selected, and I can transfer them to and from my carrier.
Exactly. So this is a very similar mechanism to when you're transferring cargo between, say, your SRV and your ship. This time you're transferring it from the ship to the carrier. You can't transfer every single type of commodity. There's some that for gameplay reasons don't make sense to transfer. Power play is one obvious example.
Yep.
So amazing. So, and if we go back to the fleet carrier service management screen, we can see this is the commodity market where we would be able to put that stuff in. But we can see here that we have advanced maintenance. Now, previously we purchased 3 separate services.
So you did the refuel,
The
the
refuel,
rearm,
the rearm,
sorry, the armory,
the armory, and the repair.
Repair.
The repair. There was the 3 different ones. Now from that, if we can go into it, you can see that there is a new layout. Obviously, we can get this in the standard services, but this is the new layout for the fleet carriers, where you can actually go in and use these facilities to repair all the certain parts and refuel and the armory.
Absolutely. So this is the same interface that the same set of services that you will have seen before, but with a much more visual interface. It really does show what our UI design team have been busy doing. I think it looks really cool.
Yeah,
really
this is way better than the previous list that we had.
Yeah.
I love the extra polish that we've been able to put
It's
on the stuff.
it's similar to what we
Does
were
look
able to
pretty
do
good.
for the ship UI as well.
Yeah.
In the right-hand cockpit panel.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, so if we go back to the fleet carrier services, we can see here, these are all the different features that both the owner and the player, a guest can come on and see. Obviously, when they go into the carrier management section, the bottom right there, the guest will only see part of the time. They will only see partial parts, a summary of of everything else that's going on. But this is what will be available if you had a fleet carrier fully modded out, which would take a lot of
you've gone overboard here. But it's good for demonstration.
But that's what's important, is that you can change these, you can make things unavailable, you can make them available to your preference and playstyle. But I think one of the real big concerns that I would have is that if I'm out in my ship and I'm flying about in a distant part and my fleet carrier's going somewhere else, can I manage it without actually being on board my fleet carrier?
Yeah, so at every point so far, you've been managing your carrier from being docked at the carrier itself. But obviously you don't want to be anchored to this thing. This is an enormous vessel. It has a crew on it for a reason. And the way that we've kind of solved that issue, so if you want to go on a long exploration trip, yes, you definitely want to be able to manage this thing remotely. So if you buy
That's
a
good to
carrier
know.
in your right-hand
That's
cockpit
good, remote
panel,
access.
you'll get an additional button that says carrier management. That will take you exactly to the same screen that you would have got from the carrier management button on the fleet carrier service.
Brilliant. So we can manage it all from there. We can have the budget, the banking. We can make sure the crew's doing okay. We can
restock if you want.
restock if you want, if it's the right system.
If you're scouting ahead, that's where you'd issue a navigation order to come and catch you up.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And we can even plan the trip through that as well. That's amazing. So the big thing is we've went through all this different the management, and again, like we've suggested, like we've said,
Yep.
is that there's so much more to these. This is just the tip. This is just the best way that we could represent is just to kind of show them off and to kind of play about with it. But one of the things that I'm really interested to see, and I don't know if you guys are as well, is to see one of these things actually jump.
I love this.
It is good, yeah.
It is good. So I think what we're going to show you guys is this will be the first showing
Yep.
of a fleet carrier jumping from one system to another.
Yep, we're listening.
Yeah, nice.
It is the same. I think. Oh wait, no, they probably improved. Yeah, they improved a little bit.
They very much improved it. That's pretty fucking great, I gotta say.
It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, it's alright.
I wish they'd have done it from external camera, yeah.
I love how you were just waving at it as it kind of went away. Now that was amazing.
Something similar
Like
to
the
happen.
big
I
thing,
love it, yeah.
the big important thing with that as well was, like we've said earlier, we're showing you just parts of what's available here on the fleet carrier. As we said at the beginning, it takes such a toll to actually do the jump and make the jump. We've got, as it stands at the moment, an hour build up and then an hour cool down after
Yeah.
it. Now the hour build up, there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more interesting audio that's going on. Like you said, the time to get people to land at their ship and actually get prepared if they want to participate in the jump. To see all that stuff, but we wanted to
Okay,
show
we can
off
jump
the
on
really
board with
cool,
friends. That's good to know.
Space.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would say the best way to describe that of like
yeah.
a thunderstorm portal thing.
It's the jump sequence, but
It is a jump sequence.
in the
What's it look like
wind
when
up
you're on
to
the
that,
pad?
you do get local announcements saying the carrier is jumping, you may want
Probably
to
get
stand clear. That sort of thing.
relogged
Yeah,
out to
notifications
main
of
menu
when
and
it's going to
git
depart,
file.
where it's going to, that sort of stuff.
It's all in there.
It's really cool. So
Probably.
obviously this has
Oh, no,
been the
wait,
this has
you
been
got the
the
big
content
advertisement
reveal
for
for the fleet
Arcs.
carriers, but as we've said about this a couple of times,
All the pads are tracked when it jumps.
these things are so massive. There's been so much work that everybody's put into them, put towards them, and to put into making these the best version that they can be for
Yep.
that. And we have touched on some of the stuff that's been happening and how you can use it, but we need you guys to come in with us to actually come towards the beta and help make these work the best way that they can be, test them all out. But before we kind of go into that detail, I would like to thank both of you guys for joining us today. These have been
Feeling
fantastic.
great
We
to
have
be
Luke
able
Berth and
to
the
have
Dav
this
Stott
stuff.
who have came in to give us the kind of first deep dive look into the fleet carriers and to kind of go through it. And thank you so much, guys, for coming down.
You're
It's
very
okay.
welcome.
I'm really excited to see what everybody does with these.
Oh, it's going to be good.
There's so many new things you can do.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, so as I said just there, that we are going to be having 2 betas this year. Obviously last year we announced that we were going to try and have betas for all of our updates coming out, and this time for fleet carriers we're going to have 2. The first one will begin in April, and it will be for PC only, and then some time after that we're then going to be bringing out a second beta that will be for PC, PS4 and Xbox players. So we really need you guys to jump in. If you can't afford a fleet carrier, don't worry about it. We also need people
Oh,
to
don't
come
tell
in,
me we're
test
gonna
the game,
grind
and
and
also test
bait.
to be
Are
as
you
guests
fucking
on
kidding
fleet
me?
carriers. It's just as important. We can't wait to see what you do.
Oh,
and
that's-
this will
Fucking
help us
kidding me.
massively. So also on that, because there's
Well-
so much information, we will have
Okay,
a
okay.
forum posted on our forums, and we'll have social media to go out to give you some links to that, so that any questions that you have, you can go over there. But I think that's us for the first look at fleet carriers. We've got these betas coming up, obviously with the release coming out. We are so excited. All the information will be there. We're really looking forward to see what you do with them. And I think that's us for here, us at the studio.
Absolutely.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for watching. All the best, and I can't wait to see what you do with the fleet carriers. 07 Commanders.
We'll see you in the black.
Wow, what an amazing stream. Thank you so much for
Amazing.
tuning in
Wow,
and sticking
yeah.
with us.
So
If you want any
congratulations.
more information,
Yeah,
then you
so
can head
pat
over to our
on your
forums
own
where we'll be
back.
posting a full recap of the entire show. But before you go, why don't you stick around and check out a very special video that will
It
get you
better be
prepped for the
joystick play,
beta, which
otherwise
will
I'm
be
gonna be
taking
very
place
disappointed.
next week on April the 7th.
Okay,
Hope
beta
you
April
enjoy.
7th.
Stay safe, Commanders.
Okay, what is this now? Oh, okay, this is just the ad, but let's see.
Be our QA. Do it.
Attention, final carrier junction. Carrier crew has started cruising.
This carrier is about to engage the frameshift drive.
I mean, half of the. Did you notice? Half of those clips were reused trailer footage.
Yes.
Yep.
Did you notice?
And they're not giving dates, by the way. Notice, just May, June.
Oh, the
Only
funny thing.
months.
All
funny
right, is
thing
that
is
it?
that they also
Okay, I think that's it. Yep, it's it.
Yeah.
That looks like
That's
it.
it.
Wow.
Alright.
Well,
I got 2
But
pages
hold on,
of notes here.
I've got lots of notes
before we
too.
start talking about this,
Yeah.
Before we start talking about this, that is quite possibly the most boring content reveal I have ever seen in
Well,
my
Oh
entire life.
my god.
I've been in business meetings, corporate phone calls that have been more exciting than that.
I
okay.
have to say it feels a little rushed, and
I mean, they clearly wanted it in an hour.
Rushed? It has been 2.5 years, dude.
It feels like it wasn't organized in a way where they present things like bullet point by bullet point. It's more like, yeah, let's just talk about these random things. Here's a slideshow, and I mean,
Well, I'm not going to get salty.
As I said
about
previous,
the presentation.
I'm
What
kind
do
of with you,
think?
Scorbius. I thought the presentation was fine, to be honest. But
Yeah.
let's do this.
I've
Let's,
got a
guys.
lot of
So
questions.
I took lots of notes. I'm sure everybody did. If it's cool with you guys, I'm going to take us through the notes that I took as kind of in the order they presented stuff. We'll just kind of talk about the various things we saw, what our thoughts are. There was obviously some pretty great and pretty big stuff there. Does that sound kind of like a plan to you guys? Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so for the folks in Discord, we've got a pretty big group here in Discord. I'm gonna keep it just to us for right now, just so we can kind of talk through this. There's just going to be such a cacophony of us if I open it up right now. I am watching the live stream chat channel here in Discord as much as I can. Same thing with everybody on stream. Welcome. I just got a nice jolt of people right after the show. After that, I figured that would happen. So welcome to everybody that just joined us. We purposely didn't talk much during the stream, just because we were listening just like you guys.
Being courteous.
Exactly, right. We wanted you guys to hear everything just like we did. As I said, we all took lots of notes. We're also streaming again. Let me go through before we start here and make sure we introduce everybody. We are live on my channel, Ascorbius and Yamiks. So starting with that, we've got Commander Ascorbius with us. Say hey, Scorb.
Hey, how you doing, everybody?
And a little bit about yourselves as we go through. Scorb, tell them about yourself real quick.
Okay, I'm a space muppet who makes videos and does live streams. I'm not good at anything.
Well, and Scorbius is.
I try, and I enjoy, and I don't grind.
Yeah, and Scorbius's content specifically is story-based, narrative-based, right? So he does a lot of great, narrative things, some really amazing stuff with third-party tools and animations, and it's some really impressive stuff. You should definitely check it out. Hopefully, if you're on my channel, you know who I am. I make the boring-ass tutorials and deadpan videos that scare you that I'm quitting, and no, I am not quitting Elite. It was all an April Fool's joke. Yeah, I know. Some people are probably disappointed by that. Next up, Gluttony, why don't you tell them about yourself, buddy?
Hello again, this is Gluttony Fang. I'm the founder of the Anti-Xeno Initiative, and again, looking forward to see what we can do with the carrier with the Largoy content.
Yeah, great. Next up, we have the Pilot. Pilot, tell them about yourself.
I'm a propagandist for space travel, and I sell spaceships, and, well, I guess I can now, huh?
Oh, well, looks like maybe, right? And last, we end with the great and powerful Yamiks.
Oh yes, folks, and greetings after the stream. Hopefully you enjoyed it as as much as we did or will do. In any case, I do make content just like rest of these guys. Oh wait, no, Gluttony, you didn't make videos. You make awesome bugs explode. Yeah, that's great. Anyways.
Well, Gluttony has videos. Gluttony has videos of bugs exploding. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. He's got a YouTube channel. Let's,
I try to keep
careful. Wow.
Every single one person that makes content, but
Yep. No,
again,
he absolutely does. Absolutely does.
Fair enough. All right, we'll have to watch them some. But yeah, I make content just like everyone else, and I do things and critique them, especially as you will hear soon enough.
Yeah, Yamiks makes you laugh, right? I teach you how to play. Pilot teaches you how all the ships look and what they do. Gluttony shows you how to blow up bugs, and Ascorbius makes stories with all of this. I think that's a pretty good way to break it all down. What do you guys think? So let's jump right into it. I'm going to start at the beginning with kind of the notes that I've got. I'll bring up individual topics. We'll all talk through it. The first thing I saw is, he said something about being able to work together as a squadron. They didn't really go into that much. I thought that was interesting. What he meant by that, it didn't seem like I was expecting a little more out of that than it got. Did you guys pick up anything more around that?
Exigeous, real quick, just to interrupt. I think in chat someone said that our voice are lower than yours.
Okay. Let me fix that.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah.
There we go again. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Let me know on my chat. I'll pay attention to the channel here for a little bit, and let me know if that just fixed it. Thanks, Gluttony.
No problem. Well, thanks,
Right.
I would say you don't really have a choice but to work with your squadron, because it sounds like it's a hell of a lot of upkeep, and yeah,
I think we'll get to that. I mean, should we jump right to upkeep right now?
The main topic of today is credit sync. That's the topic today.
Yeah, it certainly looked like if you had like everything outfit, you're talking what, maybe $1 billion a year? Like, it looked like the base was $500 million a year.
5 years, yes.
It's certainly a sink. At the same time, it's giving us an unprecedented opportunity to make credits.
That's
as capitalists would say.
Pretty damn interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing: is I got everything that I basically said was going to be in there, which I'm proud of myself. But at the same time, I'm still kind of disappointed.
Let's get to the individuals. Well, I got to admit, I was pretty excited about it going into it, and so far, I've got some big questions left that they didn't cover. But so far, I got to admit, I'm pretty fucking bullish on this, and am fairly happy. Like one of the things, like in the next note I have, I mean, we can jump straight to this. Is I thought the jump animation was pretty damn fantastic.
That was always going to be great.
Yeah, exactly, and that was exactly what I figured.
They
it was
reused the capital ship.
Sure, and updated it a bit. And,
originally, it was good. So updating it. A
massive frame shift drive detected.
Yeah. What did concern me is that it looks like we can jump, obviously we know we can jump 500 light years at a time. It looked like it's 2 jumps and then you're getting fuel again. And it looks like you're going to either ferry fuel to it or you're going to mine fuel and bring back to it. And boy, that's going to make it a lot of work to get one of these things out in deep space. Was that you guys' reaction to that?
And also ice ring only, where the fuel comes from.
Right.
If you want to mine it.
Right.
What happened to like skimming off of gas giants? I mean, I thought that would be a cool way to get your fuel.
Yeah. Like a fuel scoop, basically.
A passive, yeah, that would be pretty decent.
Oh yeah. By the way, hold on. Somebody in my chat just said this is a great point. They said, "What about the support vessels?" There was absolutely no mention of that. Yeah, okay.
I guess they scrapped or something.
I kind of that doesn't bother me. I don't think. Right? I thought that was kind of weird to begin with.
They were talking about outfits and in terms of like fixing people into like a combat role, bounty hunting roles, whatnot, and they said they kind of scrapped it and wanted us to do our own thing. So
and actually,
ships are probably gone.
In terms of fuel, Stuart GT on chat just made a good point that could be true. Can we store the tritium in our 25,000 tons or I guess slots tons? I guess it would be of cargo space. So actually, if that's true, okay. So if that's true, I guess that, and we can transfer it back and forth. If that is accurate, then I guess that's not too bad. You could, you could just go out and fill everything.
Can't store everything.
Hopefully, there's a difference between.
Yeah. Sorry, Scorby, say that again.
They did say that you can't store everything. Like you store commodities, but you can't store everything. So like power play modules, you can't store those, stuff like that. But will they say, oh no, you can't store the tritium, you're gonna have to go mine that because gameplay? Is that what they're gonna say? Or is it like, yeah, I mined a ton of it, I'm gonna stick it in my carrier, we're gonna harvest it out of storage and refuel the ship. That would make total sense prepping for a long journey.
Yeah, agreed.
Let's go get all the tritium. And then you can do step by step.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe there's a difference between injected fuel and actually like just the tritium still in their raw form where they aren't injected.
Obviously a big question. Pilot, Yamiks, thoughts?
I mean, realistically, if it does 1,000 light years per refuel, I mean, what's that? 10 refuels before you hit Sag? That's not
more like Sag is 26,000.
22,000.
Yeah,
22,000. That's divided or times 2.
22.
That's 44 refuels.
Well, Sag is 26,000. The Colonia is 22. Right.
Oh,
so
right,
yeah. So you're talking. I mean, but again, I think to the point that
it's 22 refuels.
Yeah. To Scorb's
quite
point,
a lot, man.
It potentially is, right? And if I go through the notes, let's see. They talked about where to buy them. I don't think there was any surprise there. That there's 12 or 13. I think there's 12 or 13 locations around. Okay, I don't think that was any big surprise or anything negative there.
I like that.
Yeah, I thought
the location.
Yeah, I thought the dry docks potentially will be kind of cool looking, new thing to see. They didn't exactly.
You know what I'd like?
No, go ahead, please.
Go ahead.
No. I was going to jump something else. Go.
I'd like to say is that I would love to see what the game field looks like a year from now or 2, after more than a few people have them.
Sure.
And you have outright mini bubbles and little different supply routes, and everyone's figured out the bugs and everything like that. I think then it would probably be very worth it, but I'm not looking forward to getting there.
It's gonna be such a bumpy road, man. There will be so many little things that, realistically speaking, probably ain't gonna be changed. I mean, look at the engineering, look at, multi-crew, these massive things, as good as they sounded at first, and could have gotten fixed and become okay. Have they?
A question I saw in chat was asking about how a solo player will make a profit from the fleet carrier.
You're gonna get fucked.
Good point. Yeah, this is. I mean, look, this is multiplayer. Yeah, but solo player is going to have to do this themselves, right? I mean, this is multi-game. I say this is multiplayer. This is multiplayer gameplay, right? You're going to do this in private group or in open.
If you're in a PG and you've got your fleet carrier, it will still be visible in open.
Right.
and in
Right,
go in
right,
all modes, like
right,
permanent
right.
fixture.
Right, exactly, right. And it did look like I liked the idea, and I think I was right in predicting that it's going to work like private groups, where you have to be friends with the person first, right, or with the account, right? Be friends with them, and then once you're friends, bam, it's going to show up for you in some way, right? And just quite quickly, a housekeeping thing, Aposto, if you'll leave channel and come back, I've set you so that you can speak. Aposto's been seeing a bunch of great stuff from the live stream chat and stuff. I want him to be able to interrupt. Aposto's one of our staff members at level 11 with some of the news that he's getting in, just because it's kind of screaming by really fast. So welcome, Aposto, real quick. Oh, we don't have your mic, Aposto.
You're a bit loud.
Actually, we're not hearing
I'm too little. Hold on.
Oh, there
Can
you go.
hear me now?
Yeah, we got you. You're
No,
great now. And actually, yeah, that was pretty loud. You are pretty loud. I'll turn you down a bit. Don't sweat.
Oh, okay. Here we go. How about this?
That's better. That's better. So interrupt us,
Okay.
Aposto, if there's news that is going by that you think that we should see. I saw something real quick I wanted to comment on. They did officially drop officially said they dropped the support carriers. They just decided that didn't work very well, and they would do it the way they're showing us now. What's the other note you pasted in, Aposto? How much they cost?
They never answered how much modules we could store.
No, they never did. That's I've got that as a big question.
I thought I saw that on the screen that went by that you get 35.
I didn't see that. I might have missed it.
Yeah, I didn't see any number or cap,
But
and I asked it a few times in chat, and FDev never responded to it.
But the module contributes to the 25K total unit
Right.
storage, right?
Well, I don't know that your
Yes or
personal
no, that
modules
wasn't
do.
clarified.
Right? Yeah.
The biggest question I really want answered is our experimental modules.
No,
going
by
to
the
be
way, I
available?
did say that they said no, that Thargoid modules would not be. You would not be able to outfit and store those. I agree. Right? I saw it like that was something that Aposto chimed in that they said in their chat.
Yeah, they did say they answered that question. So it will not be. It's not. It's not.
Oh my
Guys, did anybody pick up on this thing? So like my chat was asking questions about like, okay, so if you're in the bubble and there's lots of commanders about, you're going to be able to make money. Because commanders will be able to dock on your fleet carrier and buy and sell. But what happens if you're way out in deep space?
I got the same question actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yorkshire,
no commanders equals no money. So they're not going to be.
You have to go out in a group.
I think you have to be somewhere. I mean, I think that's where you decide
Will
where you're
they
going to
show
put
up
it in
on the
some way.
galaxy?
Well, okay, so I
Will
think
they-
my
will they
gut
appear
says
like a
from
fuel
what they
stop?
said was that if you're friended with that, like if I'm friended with you, your fleet carrier is going to show up for me. I got to
Right,
very
but
strongly
let's
assume
say-
that's how it works.
Let's say I'm an explorer. I'm out in open, or it doesn't matter what mode I'm in. I'm out in the black and like, oh shit, I'm in a dark patch of stars. I can't fuel. I should have plotted my route a bit better. Will I be able to check the galaxy map and go, oh, thank God, there's a fleet carrier here, and I don't care if he's charging me extortionate prices for fuel. I can get
Civilization
fuel.
sources.
See-
Civilization sources should pick that up.
Well, see, honestly, I think, like, and I got that question too, like, where are we going to see people? Like, somebody on my chat said, is Inara going to track all these things? Well, I'll say as a quick plug, like, I'm already planning to build a fleet carrier registry at EDTutorials.com so that players can come in and say, my carrier is going to be stationed here. Because, again, I don't think it's going to show up unless you're already friends with that account. So I think
But
finding
it's
one.
That's just another third-party tool we've got.
Oh,
to
I
use.
agree.
And
Oh, I'm not
yeah.
defending it. Totally
It
agree.
should be in-game.
Totally agree. I completely agree. And if it's not, I think we're going to have to solve it in that way. But again, I'm right there with you, Scorbius. There should be something in game for it, but something makes me doubt that. Because look, otherwise where's there going to be a screen that shows me the 25,000 fleet carriers in Shinrarta? That's the problem. You get me? Right?
No,
like
you can't have it in a permit system. You can't have it in a permit
Oh,
system.
okay. Well, okay. So
pick
So pick another populated system, right? Actually, you know what? That's interesting that you say that, Pilot, because I didn't pick up on that, but that makes sense because it wouldn't make sense to be able to jump people into Shin, right? You know what I'm saying? Like people are on board,
exactly.
so that makes sense. And
I
to that,
think Ascorbius was having the problem with is that realistically, are there enough explorers moving their way throughout the galaxy that the traffic through the system that you're in is enough to keep the carrier running? And I'm going to say the answer is more than likely no.
I agree with that.
What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go out with 4 or 5 other people who have fleet carriers. Someone who's you're going to have to create a small little micro community, and then people can stop there, and you'll have to advertise somehow.
I got a second question which bolts onto this. If you're in the bubble, then so you can't make money out in the black because no commanders equals no money. You're in the bubble. Why the hell am I buying fuel from your fleet carrier at a markup? We're going to just go to advanced state. 2 stars
To
away.
support you? Well, nope.
Modules. Well, there's a 15% markup on my fleet carrier because I need to make
It's literally going to be a floating anti-Shinrarta.
I told you, I call this. It's a space Patreon. If you found this fleet carrier supportful, please consider donating.
Yeah.
Is that going to be at the end of every one of our videos?
Just quickly, guys. Just quickly, let me introduce Minnie. I just brought Minnie into the chat and set him. So welcome, Minnie.
Oh, not Minnie.
I'll be nice. I'll be good.
No. I don't want to let if there's if other guys are dropping in. So I do want to keep this maybe limited to the group we've got now. But Yamiks pinged me and said, "Hey, Minnie's in chat," so I figured I'd let you chime in with us too. I wanted to get back to to jumping to specific locations because it did like the screen they showed us with the system map, right? I wish they'd have shown us plotting a jump, right? But it did seem like from that map and where the icon was that we will be able to pick, where in the system. Of course, the big question is, and I saw this in my chat too earlier, does that negate the 6.2 million light second flight to Hutton, for example?
Hutton, you see, is a position within that system away from any body. They specifically mentioned that you will be able to position your fleet carrier
at a body
around a specific object that is the planetary celestial object.
Yeah.
Is there no star? Is there no star?
Basically, have a planet.
Yeah, there's no star out at Hutton. I admit
no.
Well,
there's Proxima Centauri, and then there's the planet Eden, which orbits Proxima Centauri.
Okay.
And Hutton Orbital orbits Eden.
Okay, so you could jump to that star.
So
Yeah,
will be.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Right.
So that's a great little racket someone could set up, the Hutton run. So
Right,
get all
right.
the people who have to do the missions to Hutton, hop on the
Jump
fleet carrier,
them.
flip it over.
So I mean, and that's
Express.
yeah.
Yes.
And I got to admit, that's where some of this is starting to excite me because look, we just thought of some potentially interesting gameplay there, right?
hang on. Hang on.
Yeah.
You're actually expecting Frontier servers to be able to handle
Well,
people docking on a
that's-
carrier and then jumping in
That's
the first place.
sure.
It's a big assumption.
That's for another
It's
day.
a big
The
assumption.
features will
I didn't
depend.
even think about this. Yeah.
One thing at a time. One thing at a time.
I got a question.
yeah.
Another question. Sorry, I'm
Please.
dominating the questions.
No, go ahead.
Right, so you can have a shipyard and you can buy ships for sale. You can have a limited number of them, but they said that you can also part exchange your ships just like you can in a station. Does that mean that the ship that you're in then becomes available for like a second-hand purchase on your fleet carrier?
I don't think so.
And
It seems
If
like
someone, whoa. If someone figures this out, I will legit open Minnie's ship emporium on a fleet carrier so people can come
I'm
buy
just thinking all the
copies of
Cobra
my
Mark
ships.
fours
Yeah.
that are going to be able.
No, you ain't gonna be able to sell any engineered stuff. Obviously, it's
yeah.
gonna be the basic stuff that
Yeah.
you buy in any other station.
Well, and
obviously,
It's going to be scrapped.
And as far as engineering, they didn't specifically answer this question, but I'm pretty sure it's what the icon you see in the bottom right-hand corner of the of this menu is. Is it going to have remote workshop? And it seemed like the engineering icon was down there in the bottom right, and so I think the answer to that
why
is yes.
not?
Yeah, I mean every station that's ever had outfitting has always had remote workshop, so it would make sense, right? So let's see. Jumping along, we saw the weekly upkeep for the upkeep at 10 million base. I actually think that's reasonable. I don't think that's too terrible. I mean, again, we're talking about this being something very late game content, and if this is something you're going to do, that again, you're talking 500 million a year. You can make that in 5 or 6 hours mining right now. I don't think that'd be horrible.
Let me contest that for a second and say, if I buy my Anaconda or a new Anaconda and I kind of build it out halfway and go fly it out to the middle of nowhere and log out of the game and then come back a year later, I still have my Anaconda.
Yeah, basically,
right.
Frontier is wanting us to not read all the term and conditions of a mobile service contract for a cell phone with fleet carriers.
It's mandatory play. Mandatory.
No, the thing is, see, let me just shatter you, or at least for those in chats and so on and so forth, from this delusion sometimes that people have about, not separating the game from the actual idea, the game design idea. See, when it comes down to it, the upkeep is literally there just for one reason and one reason only, so that you return at least weekly and do things on Elite Dangerous so that they can show inflated values to their shareholders and
Investors.
stakeholders. That's the reason primarily why many things in Elite Dangerous are done. They tried it with power play to have, especially a penalizing system. Every week you lose half of your merits, and that was disgusting. And now they are trying to do the same thing with fleet carriers, but in a more, I suppose, manageable way. And it's the problem is that, do we really need something constantly nagging at our heads, just suggesting you need to play, you need to play, you need to play? I'd much rather have a game that invites me to play, like, let's say, Warframe. A free-to-play game that invites me with bonuses every week and so on and so forth, rather than potentially threatening you. Oh, wouldn't it be a shame if your wonderful ship just disappeared one day?
Well, hold on.
Come
Let's clarify the way that
I
worked.
agree
The
with
way
him
that
completely.
well, hold on. And I'm not necessarily arguing that, but it seemed to me the way the mechanic would work is as your fleet carrier, like, essentially, goes into debt, or you don't have the money to upkeep it. It's not like you're going to lose your ships and shit that are on it. You just can't do anything with it until you've paid that upkeep. Now, they didn't go into like, kind of in my video joking, like, do you go into debt, right? They didn't cover that. It kind of seemed like maybe you did. Again, we've got to see, but it didn't. But it didn't say that. It's not like all of a sudden my ships are going to disappear, right? I mean, it's not like
they said you could take them off even if it shuts down.
Right, exactly, right. So it's not like you're going to lose anything.
The thing is, I expect them fully to have this simple mechanic, right? They did mention, that ships will go into decommission state if your debt is too large. They did tweet that out afterwards, after all. So we know that it will enter a decommissioning state at one point. The question is, what was that point? And they didn't reveal that, obviously. I would guess some point. But regardless, it is still a point that will come in time. Obviously, not all of us like to play games as your second fucking job that Elite seems to be wanting us all to have right now. But regardless.
We all do, but
Well, and that's why, I mean, honestly, part of my response to that, and by the way, I'm not trying to defend it necessarily, but these aren't for everybody. Right? I mean, these are
they're not for everyone. That is for people who are dedicated enough to be or have Elite as your second job.
But wait a minute, at the same time,
that is the people that they want.
Well, but I think there's the notion of, and we'll have to see again how this plays out, of being able to get your carrier in a common place, or having a carrier where you tell your squadron about it, right? And everybody's doing things, and they're refueling there, and they're selling stuff there, or whatever it might be, and it's essentially keeping itself up, right? Well, there's the buy it price, right? But we're talking about the upkeep cost.
Well, let's also not
already
forget,
is a
you have a
great
chance to
big
run it like a business now.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
here's
exactly
the
what I'm
thing,
getting
though,
at.
there's one thing. It's one thing to ask your player base to build your world for you and contribute to it. That's fine.
Sure.
What he's saying, though, is that there's no incentive to keep it going. There's only the stick that if you don't keep it going, it destroys the world for you and everyone else.
I mean, I guess I get that. I mean, I get where. Let's put it this way: I get where you're going. For me personally, this doesn't feel like a big issue to me. To me personally, now that's partially because I'm going to say that's because of how much I play. Right? Exactly. I mean, I'm giving you that. Right? I'm. That's where I go back to. I don't think this is for everybody. And now again, let me be clear. I'm not saying that I like it the way it is. I think it would be better if it didn't have the level of upkeep cost it gets. So don't misunderstand me, right? I think that it's limiting it more than it needs to. I guess I would put it that way, if that makes more sense.
I have a thought.
Yeah, please.
I think that the coronavirus has gotten severe enough that Frontier is like, hey, people are actually staying home. They want to maybe play Elite Dangerous. So maybe if we added some content, we'd bolster our numbers for the next cycle so we look good. That's my thought.
Oh, God.
That is a bit oof.
I'm going to keep...
It's oof, but then again, think about what Frontier's done in the past and be like, you know what, I don't think I'll run that past them. That sounds like something they would do.
I reckon
that
would be super happy.
The point that was initially the purpose of the fleet carrier for each of our respective communities. What do we see that we can get out of this for our community? Because Otherwise, why are we?
Player market is probably the only thing that I really like.
Okay, player market. Anyone else?
Oh, outfitting, right? That too.
Yeah, having that, and I'll also add like this whole thing about having to log in and play and do something. EVE Online did that years ago. You had to stay on top of your skills, otherwise you're losing valuable time. So it was a hook to keep you in the game.
But that was a game
they had the market as well. I know it wasn't like something you were losing over time, but you felt like you were losing progress, the ability to progress if you didn't log in and re-up your skills each time.
Yeah, but that literally made it because you couldn't fly new ships or use certain type of guns if you didn't have the right skills, and if you didn't do that, then
I'm just saying
it's
an equivalent kind of hook.
That was part of the core gameplay when the game launched.
No, they actually use a different hook in EVE. They use a different hook in EVE. They'll send out little flyers or emails saying, "Hey, look, it's a special week." Oh, they're doing one right now. It's a special week, go out and do this, and you can get this bonus and that bonus, and they're all positive things. They're all carrots, not sticks.
I had trillions of ISK when I left. I'm not going back to EVE.
Well, then you won.
Oh God, you won your life back.
Don't worry, you can't have my stuff. I already gave it away.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring us back. I'm gonna bring us back a bit because we don't want. I'm gonna say we don't want this stream to go on for 5 more hours. So let me jump. Let me bring us back to.
What about the viewers? What do the viewers think?
Well, I'll admit I haven't. It's been really, really difficult to watch chat. It's just streaming by so quickly. I'm trying to watch live stream here, so and again, forgive us, chat. I'm not trying to ignore you guys. I'm trying to see what I can. It's just like with the discussion, it's too hard to focus on two things, right?
2,000 people watching.
Yeah,
so.
I had about 1,000 on mine, and I'm at 950 right now, and I don't know, several on pretty much on Twitch. But anyway,
thousands.
okay. And well, again, thanks for stopping by, everybody, as we kind of talk through and deconstruct, or go through deconstruct all this. Tariffs. So we've talked about that, I guess, in a roundabout way. I think that's pretty cool. The fact that we can add tariffs to basically everything, modules, ships, market stuff, right? I like the way that they've done it. Back to the debate Pilot and I had a while back about player-to-player trading. I like that it's in such a way that you couldn't really boost another player, but you can bring in profits for yourself while offering services in different parts of the galaxy. That seems pretty interesting. There's one actually something big just hit me that they didn't talk about, and it certainly wasn't on any of the screens. There's no mission board. So there's no BGS use.
Does it need it?
Well, for BG, I was hoping it potentially would have one for the BGS guys, right? Yeah. So you could jump it, and I'm not surprised I called that one that it wouldn't have a mission board because otherwise you'd be able to jump it into a system that had shitty stations and stuff, which adds shit to BGS, but adds stuff, and this would negate that. So I'm not surprised they didn't put a mission board on it. But we haven't.
Did anyone note if they had a cartographics?
That's another one I didn't notice. I called that they wouldn't have one, right?
No, I didn't.
Because if you're out in the black selling your nav,
absolutely,
your data,
absolutely,
cartographics would make you money.
Specified
post it.
It will not be affecting the BGS, and people did ask about the cartographics. No, so you won't be able to sell data either. It's only at stations. So yeah, they kind of. I think they've done a good job at blocking carriers from affecting the BGS in any way.
Yeah, and that's probably good. I mean, we'll say BGS. Well, let's not even get into that today. It's way too much, right?
Originally, I thought the carrier is going to be only used by BGS folk and so on and so forth. So I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting.
The trading.
Let me ask you this:
space could be a way to keep your carrier going. If it doesn't matter who it influences, because you're out in deep space.
Right.
If they made it so that selling data. A fleet carrier just sold it straight to the Pilots Federation and bypassed any of the factions. So it
I agree.
Did it that way, then it could be fine.
I agree. I'm surprised.
Sell their data.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I didn't think it was going to, but I'm surprised it did not have that. Right. No swimming pools, by the way. I noticed that. Pilot, you were about to chime in with something.
Any pubs?
Are you guys going to buy one?
Oh, absolutely.
For a review, yes. Otherwise, I'll lose that money. Also, there will be money lost when you sell or decommission the fucking thing.
I noticed that too.
Be prepared for 500 or more, actually.
I'm guessing it's 10%. Yeah, I'm guessing it's 10%, just like ships are.
More than that, I think.
It looked like a lot more. It was 430, yeah.
I'm contemplating as to how many of these carriers my player groups should keep
That's
up,
an issue
because it's a
too.
community
I think,
effort.
yeah, I think squadrons should get together and talk about who in the squadron is going to own one. I think it's going to, I'll admit, I have an alt account that I'm setting up for our squadron, for the squadron's fleet carrier. So I think you're right, Gluttony, that groups working together more on this. And I think the way the tariffs and stuff work, so that the squadron is doing stuff for the carrier, it's making money. You can decide what that tariff is. You can decide how much your squadron is actually contributing, right? And how quickly that can happen, that kind of stuff. I think that is, the way that most groups, are gonna be able to manage these things, right?
Yeah, it's definitely an ongoing conversation that
Yeah.
I think each player group has to have with their members and whatnot. Oh,
You
just
can
a
only
odd-
sell here.
I mean,
just a odd
you'd
random
ask.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Out in the blue, do you think signal sources will spawn around the carriers as they do like around stations and whatnot, or do you think they'll get?
No, I'm guessing it won't have any impact on those mechanics. I am happy that there's no new materials involved, right? That tritium for the jumping, but there's no grinding for mats for any kind of anything.
There's still grinding.
No, I know. I'm just saying, right?
Fuck
but
me.
But the I'm glad there's not more than that, right? Pilot, I see what you're talking about. Who is that's showing up that way? Sorry.
Now.
We got a little bit of a thing. No, somebody else is showing up that way. Lieutenant Naga, something like that. Hold on, let me see if I can fix
Anyways,
it.
next topic. Who wants to?
Let me jump through. Yeah. So let's see. We've talked about some player trading, that there's 25,000 slots available. It seemed like you hired crew for that.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that.
Oh, that crew was very cheap.
But
yes,
what's the point of hiring new crew? Will they have a competency level?
Right, that's something Exigeous and I caught when they were going past that. Like, is one crew better than the other? Is there a reason to retain permanently a crew or anything like that?
Yeah, just one's really bad at selling stuff. Oh, come on, man.
Work on your
you have to do
skills.
performance reviews for them and stuff like that while you're out in the black. I'm sorry, but you haven't met your clothes.
His wife just left him,
you need to do your CPS reports.
So yeah, Billy, we're kind of letting you go now. Exit the airlock, please.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna let you go out the airlock into the sun.
Trap don't open, sea floats.
I don't know. Your performance just isn't meeting the metrics, man. You gotta beat the metrics.
If you're lucky, we might have a decommissioned Sidewinder floating around out there. Maybe wait over to that to get the fuck out of here.
So I thought it was interesting. We saw about the shipyard and outfitting that you're going to choose what is there. It seemed like potentially, given you've got 25,000 slots, that you'd be able to essentially have one of every type of module. What they didn't make clear was, like, if it's a class A or class 5 frameshift drives, is that all types, A through E?
Tiers.
Right. They never clarified.
It was interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like literally a bundle that you have to buy, and then you basically have useless crap that no one buys, and you basically paid for it? Is that the case? If that's the case, then
sucks.
Well, here's the thing. Let's say you say, I want class 5 frameshift drives. Does that mean that it takes 5 slots? Right, because you got to have A through E.
Or do I need to buy 10 other useless modules that no one's going to buy and increase the price of it? Thanks.
Right. So we got to see how that works.
I can't understand for the life of me why you would institute a system where someone can go buy a ship from you specifically, and then completely screw over the AX people who would be the only ones who would be using that.
You mean for AX modules? You're saying?
Yeah.
The only reason I can think, and I'm not defending this, but the only reason I can think is because those are unlockable modules. But why wouldn't it just show them if you've unlocked them, you can buy them there? I mean,
there are already. Everyone has, the.
Well,
AX,
you mean the multi-cannons and missiles?
AX,
sure. Okay, sure.
I meant Guardian stuff, but yeah, okay. Fine,
yeah, no, I thought
matter.
you meant but it doesn't matter, right? Either way, I agree. I that's very short-sighted, right?
I have no other reason.
Guys,
like if I'm on my way to Sagittarius, I have no need to stop and buy a Type 7 from anyone. Why?
Oh well, yeah.
It's.
I mean, so then in that fleet carrier, you wouldn't have a Type 7 for sale, right? I mean,
Well, you know what I'm saying.
The amount of crosstalk we're getting is on the high side. If we can tone it down.
I agree, Minnie. Let's see. We talked about the settings. Interesting that you can keep people if they have notoriety from not docking. Pretty.
I mean, that's just like normal station anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Can you make it so that
normal.
only people with notoriety can dock?
I don't think I saw it
you
that
have to
way.
be very dangerous.
That you have to be.
Bad enough to dock here.
Yeah. Oh, you know what?
Go kill a noob now.
One thing I missed because I was interacting with chat at the time is what did I miss anything about the redemption office, or is that essentially just interstellar factor?
It's just an interstellar factor.
It's interstellar factor.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you can pay off your bounty. It just said you can get your claims, but that's about it.
Okay. Outfitting, we've talked about that. They didn't tell us how many modules we'd be able to store, if any additional. I know for some of us, like I'm very much hoping they'll raise the 120 limit. It would be so amazing if we could say of that 25,000 slots that those could be for module storage. Like some of us that have multiple ships we use for storage, just because of it gets so ridiculous trying to do all that with the limit of 120.
Fact that you can actually have infinite amount, as long as there are enough stations in the world or galaxy in Elite Dangerous, you can have infinite amount of ships that can store, their representative modules and whatnot else on them, 40 ships per station, and yet you have one global module storage.
Right.
Now, infinite amount of ships, and yet that limited amount of storage, stored modules, because that'd be smart. Herp-a-derp.
Yeah, agree. That's always, especially back when it was 60, right? Why this random number of one? Yeah, we could go down that path forever. Market, obviously the ability to store commodities, big one, right? Guys like EIC are going to be eating that up, being able to, are we going to be able to store rares? Yeah, are we going to be able to store rares?
Rares. I was thinking about that. Even in your trading
Yes,
company.
you can. It was on the thing.
You saw specifically rares listed, Pilot?
Yeah. There's a little star icon that says rare items. You can
okay.
list them.
Okay, fair enough.
Nice.
Then that's
good.
potentially huge.
Someone please fill an entire fleet carrier with nothing but Thargoid probes.
That'd be interesting. Absolutely.
It would help me film stuff, yeah.
That would be amazing, actually, Minnie, right?
The first person who goes and sits next to an engineer with all those unlocked materials and puts a buy order out.
Yep. Oh, that's and then you sell them at a huge markup.
Yep, at a markup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great. Absolutely.
I did first with all the
Say that again, one of you guys. Go, Pilot.
This is going to be first come, first serve. Whoever gets that carrier first, plants it there, you're good.
Oh, then it'll be a race to the bottom, won't it?
Again, you can plant it anyways. Though the question is how close to the system. Again, those will be probably randomly generated distances and places.
And also, how many carriers can you...
Pray to RNG, Jesus.
How many carriers can you plant around a specific body?
How many is
too many?
I would guess it's unlimited.
It's
per instance. Yeah, per instance. But in other words, you could have multiple instances. So I think you could have 1,000 ships around a body, and when you drop into that, it's just you're only seeing your ship, right? It's not like they have to all be spawned.
Base
at the
is
same
vast,
time.
and those ships are small still.
Exactly. Right. Advanced maintenance. I did think that new screen looked a lot nicer, right? The repair, buying limpets, little but looked nice. It also is really nice that it seems that we can do most of this carrier management from our ships remotely. I've got the big one that I had a question about there is transferring credits. Are we going to be able to do that remotely and not have to be landed there? I sure the fuck would assume so from the way they said that, right? That you wouldn't have to actually just go to it to do basic stuff like that.
Never assume anything positive.
I agree. I agree. We talked about the jumping animation, that was great. The betas, first beta is April 2nd, so that's in 5 days.
Next week.
Yeah,
are you going to have to
next
grind
Tuesday.
in the beta?
That's a big question. The way he said it, when he said, basically he said something about don't worry, my strong impression was no, right? That you would be able to just get them. Right, and if you look
I'm
at it,
get all my footage that day. Then,
well, if you look at it from their perspective, right, I think they want everybody to have them for free because they want to entice everybody by getting to play with them. And so now you go back to production. Oh, well, damn, that was fun while I had it in beta. Now I've got to grind it out. To Yamiks' point, grind it out in game and spend the time.
Again, you're putting way too much logic to it. You really,
I am.
I
am.
Okay,
and now
here's another logic one then. I mean, realistically, what we know about Frontier, how how easy for them would be just to not do anything and do what they do with betas always. Just transfer your week-old data from your character that you have right now onto the beta template, right? And you basically play your week-old or week before account with that amount of money. So basically, if you don't have 5 billion now, probably you're gonna have to grind through the beta. That's my assumption.
I
of
see.
course.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the other way and think that they won't do it that way. And actually, just to be clear,
I mean,
guys,
that would be a proper way to test it.
Oh,
But
I
hey,
agree.
you
Well,
know,
again, you're right. You're right in that regard. And just to clarify something Yamiks just said, for those that are new to the way the betas work, historically they've always taken a snapshot of production, say a week ago, 5 days ago, maybe
The
today.
previous tick.
Yeah, was it the previous tick? Okay. So probably this last tick we
It's a
just
week
passed,
ago, basically.
maybe a week ago. Well, it was a tick this morning, so it was either this morning or a week ago tick. And that's what you will when you log into beta. Whatever you had then is what you're going to have, and beta is not persistent. So whatever you do in beta,
That
if
was
you do have to grind this out, yeah,
how it
it is not going to transfer.
What happens
over
in
to
beta
production.
stays in beta.
Yeah.
Beta is beta.
There was also the fact that if you cleared your save within beta, you were given 300 million in your account rather than whatever starting thing when you get your save cleared normally. So that was sort of the workaround. But the problem here with the many betas, since engineers were introduced, as a matter of fact, was that yeah, you get the credits, sure, but where are the literally every single material that would allow us to test engineering on top of that? Because yeah, credits is one thing, but what about the other side of the end game grind, the materials? And yeah, knowing that developers don't really give you materials when you reset your account for beta just to get that extra stuff.
Oops.
Yeah, they have selective testing focus and they don't seem to be interested in any other sort of a thing, but who knows, maybe this will be different.
Yeah, and I'm going to jump to something that I'm not surprised about. I don't necessarily think it's a big deal, and I called it. Not in the way they did it, but I definitely want to hear Yamiks rant about it. Skins and arcs and liveries.
Oh no!
I have no problem with that at all.
I'm with you, Scorb.
all.
I have no problem. I'm not going to engage in it, but I have no problem with it. Yamiks, let us
I'm gonna
have
let
it, buddy.
you finish.
No, let us have it, man.
Oh,
I know you're going to
okay.
get into
Alright,
it. That's
so-
why I brought it up.
So essentially, we are playing currently a premium game, a game that you pay for. Yes, it is on the sale, by the way, today, right now, for the next couple of days, what until.
And we all have referral
Actually, yeah,
links.
just quickly, yeah, until tomorrow. It's on sale until tomorrow on Steam for $15.
I don't have my referral anymore, so fuck that. Rakuten.
Actually, I don't have one either. But hey, go use Pilot's referral
Anyways.
if you're going to buy it.
Regardless, the point is, this is a paid game, and developers are putting in more microtransactions, basically just trying to milk the community as much as they can from, well, relatively speaking, as much as they can, from whatever purchases they can. Obviously, they didn't stop at the microtransactions alone. Now they're obscuring the fucking value with ARX points and doing the... Again, I've talked about this time and time again, but basically the monopoly money that they're using for a multitude of reasons, and one of them is obviously to confuse the people, how much you spend and so on and so forth. So you have to do the mental gymnastics constantly whenever you are trying to buy something or want to buy something, which is annoying as hell and disgusting to see in a game like this. It's not like they're starving for fucking money in the first place, but hey, I guess we might as well just go and just plop on some more crap and just let the people buy shit, because why not?
People should stop learning from EA.
Well, let me go through kind of everybody and get everybody's take. Scorb?
I think I've bought this game twice, and I've got 5,000 hours in it, and I don't mind.
I'm going to say I'm kind of with you, Scorb. I've bought this. I think I've bought the game twice. I've got over...
I've got it 3 times, sorry.
Yeah.
I got twice when it was on sale, so I paid like...
Yeah.
£60 for this game.
I think I'm all in. I've spent $120 on it. I've got almost 7,000 hours. I don't really buy. I buy the Black Friday skins. That's pretty much it. To me, it's all totally optional. If you want to buy it, great. If you don't want to buy it, great. I know some commanders really love that kind of shit and really want to personalize it. I don't have a big issue with it. Gluttony. We'll just let everybody comment on it.
as a lifetime pass owner, oof.
I feel your pain, buddy.
It's getting off on the wrong foot already.
Yeah. Okay.
I really wish like they gave us something, just something for us lifetime pass owners.
That's
at
a
the
very good
least.
point.
End of the year.
But no, I have a feeling they're going to charge us for any kind
Oh,
of
I
customization
don't.
anyway.
Oh well, the big update at the end of the year. I don't think you're going to get charged for that, obviously.
Hopefully. But
Oh, I'd
how
be
do I put it?
furious if you did.
Customization, the whole concept is preying on the fact that we as individuals want to stand out with things that make us stand out, like cosmetics. So, fine, whatever. But just the way they're doing it. Yeah, we wish they would give us some freebies, but oh well.
Minnie?
I like the original idea for fleet carriers because I thought we'd actually be able to do more stuff with them, but it sounds like
specifically cosmetics. We'll sum up here in a second.
Oh,
specifically cosmetics,
okay.
yeah, arcs and such.
Oh, I have spent a lot of money on cosmetic. I think I've bought the game twice and probably dipped another 200, 300 plus into cosmetics for elites.
Do you think the fact that there's cosmetics for the carrier is good or bad in your book?
I'm relatively neutral about it. I mean, if there's something cool and they do something in Elite to bring me back, then I'll be like, all right, cool, I'll probably get it. But I'm not seeing much to bring me back to the game now. That's where I'm at.
Fair enough. Pilot, thoughts on cosmetics, and then we'll just about wrap up here.
Hell no.
Okay. Again, fair. Let's see. Going through the rest of it, we saw the jumping animation. I thought that was fucking great. It was what we expected, just like, capital class ships. If you've never seen a capital ship warp in, it's pretty fucking epic.
Will we see these warp in?
I don't think so, because the instance is going to be started by it arriving. So I don't think there's going to be any way for you to see it arrive. Right. You get what I'm saying? Like, that would be my assumption.
I mean, they have the animation. Might as well do it.
How would you know what instance to be in where it arrives? I think that's the issue.
Maybe there will be, for the first person who jumps in on it.
And you can jump to that person, maybe. My gut says no, but sure. But
too.
I got to admit, and once again, I think they, in traditional Elite fashion, absolutely nailed the audio. Right, I thought the sound effects for the audio for it was awesome.
It was through a stream.
It was a little long. It was a little long.
Yeah,
I'll give you
it's
that.
a little extensive.
Right. And we talked about the betas already. First beta next Tuesday. Historically they've taken it down at the tick, so 7 a.m. UTC, and then they bring it back up. Probably, I'm guessing this is going to be a pretty big one. It'd be up mid-afternoon UTC time, something like that. Those of us in on EST and in America, it'll probably be, probably early day for us. And yeah, I think the questions that I wrote down, and I think then we'll just, we'll kind of wrap up with everybody's final thoughts. We don't know about stored modules. We don't know necessarily. It seems like maybe if we can store the tritium to jump a bunch once we're up. They never answered the cooldown question for jumping, did they?
Oh yeah, right. They didn't.
Never covered that.
Jump.
Yep. I was worried at first.
Forums and
that little, and if anybody's, fair enough. If anybody's seen that answer anywhere, Pasto, I know you were watching the forums and stuff. Throw it in real quick. Let's see.
One of my guys says 1 hour.
Wait, say that again.
Where that's from. One of my guys says 1 hour, but I don't know that date.
Okay, is that? Oh, okay. Hold on. Somebody in my chat is saying the same. They said it takes 1 hour after cooldown, then another hour, and then another hour to charge. I wonder what that means exactly.
Okay, so 1 hour to prep, 1 hour to cool down. Oh, they said it in the stream. Oh, okay, August.
Oh, I guess we missed it then. Okay, all right. Wow, surprised we missed it.
Does that basically mean a jump every 2 hours or what?
That's what it sounds like. Yeah. That's wow. Okay, and a lot of people in chat are saying 1 hour cooldown, 1 hour spin up. I didn't look through Virtual Bingo. We can do that right here after we wrap up. And why don't we do that? Why don't we go through each of us and just kind of share your final thoughts? What you think, Scorb?
Overall, I'm excited
it's 1
by
hour.
it.
Okay.
It's going to be a great film set. There's some great stuff coming where we can actually, because I'm about storytelling. I think that they are not doing a service to people who are out in deep space, and I think that needs to be looked at. This is a beta. We're doing a beta. They're going to find problems. They're going to make changes. So this is where we're going to bring it to their attention. They've missed a bit. They always miss a bit. Last time they missed a bit, it was that they wanted you to synthesize exploration probes. Now they're infinite. They do listen. They do make changes. So if you've got any questions, there's a lot of us. We all play differently. I'd say tell Frontier and let's see what they do. But I'm optimistically excited.
Gluttony?
Okay, so the positives here, well, rather, as an overview of the carrier's arrival, I think it's a net positive for the community since it does cater to some portion of player agency that quite a lot of us are hoping for. The idea that we can actually create our own market and manage the economy in that sense, create profit from an individual or community standpoint. It gives players more of a belonging as a community, as a community project. Fleet Carrier can be seen as. Obviously, the more negative part is from an AX standpoint, from a Thargoid standpoint. I wish we could have experimental modules on board that we can help supply people and really run our ops more efficiently that way. But we want to have an ongoing conversation with FD to see if they can maybe give us some leeway, but
Yeah,
obviously
hopefully they
that's
listen.
something we'll work on.
Yeah,
We'll
hopefully
work
they-
on our end for the community. But so for us, we see this as a net positive for contribution to the game, and we're looking forward to what it brings to us as a asset.
Minnie, if you want to chime in, since you came late to the party.
Minnie's dead, yo.
All right, I'm gonna jump. Oh, there you go.
I'm still here. I was muted. I installed Elite to check the FPS values on my new PC, and that's about all I've done so far.
Okay.
And I'm leaving.
Okay. Then I'll jump to the pilot.
I'm kind of sad. I like I said, I got everything. Well, most everything that I thought would be there, but I got no interest in it. I really don't.
Same, dude. Same.
Okay. Yamiks.
Sorry.
All right.
How long do you want this one?
About the same length everybody
Yamiks,
else had.
I've been excited to hear your response.
Give us a couple minutes. Don't give us the 20-minute diatribe. Give us a couple.
Lay it on us short and sweet, Yamiks.
I'm going to go last, Yamiks, so you go right ahead.
My chat is sad you're chat. My chat is sad you're sad, Pilot. It's sad that you're sad.
Right.
I'm sorry, guys. I'll cheer up eventually.
Right. When we look at the gameplay design, or rather why these things were first of all placed in the game, well, you're starting to question many things, starting with the history, obviously, with them. I mean, we were there in Frontier Expo with the Ascorbius when they announced it, right? I remember that. Wow. And yeah, they didn't even show a single snapshot of fleet carriers. And at that time, in 2017, October 7th, when they announced it really felt like they basically just put that announcement, oh, we're gonna put in fleet carriers. What do they do? What they look like? No one knows, because the person who announced it was basically like, okay, we literally have a week until this Frontier Expo. We need to put in something else aside from squadrons and whatever else we announced there. Mega ships. Everyone's gonna get mega ships. Yes, there we go. And ever since then, for the last 2 years, they've been, I don't know, scrambling to think of what this malformed idea could be. And it definitely has come out better than I thought. Now, obviously, it's not all good. And when you look at its actual purpose in the game, what it is meant to do, and not from our standpoint, there could be, outfitting and so on and so forth. Yeah, it can help here and there, but realistically speaking, from the general meta level, right? When you think about what it actually does to players, their psychology, and so on and so forth, it's a beating stick to keep you playing and a massive money sink. Now, obviously, there are money sinks. Qatar is a great example, and engineering, and no, not engineering, but basically the big ships are great money sinks to sort of keep you playing, or sort of strive for something so that you grind and play the game some more. But now, instead of actually having an incentive, to get a big ship, you essentially have, on top of that big ship, in that carrot, you see that big carrot, and you have a massive spiked dildo bat being swung at you every week, mentally trying to get you back in the game to keep playing it, or rather to force you play it, because, well, that is mental manipulation in my opinion. If you
I
don't
play
even feel
games
it.
to de-stress. not to have a second job after the job that I'm getting away from to play video games for.
Exactly.
Mini is right there. And the thing is, Frontier, at least their PR or generally speaking, their mouthpieces who we've seen on the public media and so on and so forth, they've essentially used these phrases or turns of phrases in such a way that it feels that they don't even feel or that they are disconnected from general community, that they don't understand how players play the game, and they think that this is our second job. It is meant to be our second job. And now, with all this, we have an incentive, and later on, a massive stick to beat you with, to force you to play. And that is mental manipulation. And I hate that when games do that. Put in a reward system rather than a penalizing system. So
Well,
in that sense, I hate it.
Well, okay, and so I think the way that my counter to that in a way, Yamiks, is that I'm going to keep stressing that these aren't for everyone, right? And I think that I think you're not wrong about a lot of that, right? And I think that for me, when I think about how am I going to use this thing, right? Like, why do I want one? Because I'll admit, I'm pretty stoked on this. Minnie, I'm getting some echo from you, buddy. I'll admit I'm pretty stoked about this, right? I probably, from the comments I've heard so far, I might be the most looking forward to it of anybody to hear. Because when I think about, okay, what am I going to use this for? What's my primary reason to have it? And it was kind of like I started with us early. If it could do this one thing, I'd be happy. And that one thing is the ability to move. And it seemed like while there's 16 pads, it certainly didn't seem like there was a limit of just 16 ships. Being able to move a group of all of my ships, and even if it's not all, 16 is plenty, 16 ships to anywhere I want right then. Now, the 2-hour cooldown thing, I do have some issues with that, to be honest with you. We'll have to see how a lot of this plays out and how we actually use it, right? But being able to say, hey, everybody, we're going to go do this. Like, oh, the guys are up in Shinrarta doing PvP, or in Santu, let's say. Great, I can have all my PvP ships up at Santu in a moment's notice, right? Hey, let's all go down to Pleiades and do Thargoid hunting, right? I can, bam, have them all down there at a moment's notice, right? On top of saying, hey, squadron, here's how we're going to do stuff. And if you need a ship, I've got it here set up for you, right? So to me, the comments about it being a second job, well, yeah, but it is a second job you're deciding to undertake. And I do kind of feel a little bit of, well, if this is absolutely not for everybody, right? I don't think it is. I don't know that it even should be. Maybe that's me being a little short-sighted and having a little bit different perspective because of where I am in the game, right? I love that we potentially could populate the galaxy with them. I do have questions about Ascorbius's point about having to use third-party tools to, for us to be able to find each other, right? I certainly agree there. We have to see what the market and the tariffs and stuff really work out to be. Can these things really pay for themselves, right? I think that this is something more. I kind of guess I wish there was a little more squadron specific stuff in the bank account specifically. Right, because I view this as something that a team wants to work together for, and a group wants to work together for, and that all of those guys would get together and say, hey, and by the way, our squadron, I'm grinding us out one, right? So, hey, everybody jump on the squadron of carrier, and tonight we're all going to go do X, and we all jump to that place in it, right? I see them more as a mobile thing where I'm going to be moving it around a lot versus just something I'm going to park somewhere, and that's where it is. Right.
Well, yeah, you're right. But here's the thing: is that the benefits that this thing gives you are not any different than if you didn't own the carrier at all.
Well,
if
I
you're
think
attached to someone who does, then you get the same exact.
Oh, sure, and agreed. Right, and that's why I say I don't think it's for everybody. I think it's for every group, to me. Right, so that again, that group can move their ships around. And some of us that are late game players and have a fuck ton of ships, right, and want to be able to move those to all at once, right? I think that's great too, right? So for me, that's where I'm looking forward to it. And all this other stuff is some cool gravy that can add some potentially cool new stuff, right? I mean, shit, I called that there wasn't going to be outfitting and that we weren't going to be able to have A-rated modules and stuff. And all of that looks to not be the case, right? And the fact that some of that is, for me personally, I'm pretty fucking... I mean, there's a lot that I like about this, right? I'm very curious to see what the beta's like. I bluntly can't wait to get my hands on them. And I hope, to Ascorbius's point, that the issues that we do find, and so far the biggest one for me is the 2-hour jump, right? That is addressed in some way. Because I do think I saw one of my mods posted in chat that, well, you're not meant to be able to get somewhere faster in this than you would in an 80 light year Anaconda. And while I kind of agree with that, I also maybe don't know that I agree with that and think that cooldown is too long, right? I almost, in my joke video, I almost said that cooldowns were going to be 1 hour. And then I thought, I should probably up that to a day to make it ridiculous, because that could be right. And
honestly, I did expect a day.
Yeah, I did say.
You did expect a day?
Kind of expectable. Yeah, I kind of did.
I thought it might.
Engine's got to cool down.
I thought it might happen that long, right? But an hour.
I thought they might actually go for a full week.
No, I didn't think it'd be that bad.
Wow.
I really didn't think it'd be that
every
bad.
tick.
Right.
I thought it would be every tick.
Well, guys, I think if it's okay with everybody, I mean, we can keep chatting in Discord, obviously. If you guys would like to come join us in Discord, please do. The mods on my channel, at least, have been posting the link. If you guys can toss it in one last time for me, that'd be great. Thanks to everybody, especially certainly on my stream, Yamiks as well. Who else did we have streaming? Ascorbius as well, right? Thanks very much for joining us. We had a bigger crowd, honestly, than I expected. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm sure that there's going to be lots of videos coming out from folks. I probably won't bother putting one out. I'll let Obsidian cover this.
He's probably me. I'm gonna do the.
I know you are. I know you are, and I'm sure Obsidian's got a video out already. Covering the thing.
Plater does
certainly, or Plater, right? Certainly. Does he seriously? Did he really get one out that fucking fast?
Already out.
Okay. I know Obsidian will have something out incredibly quickly, right? Yeah. See, that's what we get for spending an hour chatting about it afterwards. We missed that,
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
To spend the entire time video editing.
Right, exactly. Right. So again,
he really does have a video out.
I don't think we did. I don't think we officially played Elite Bingo. We can take that offline unless you guys want to do it really quick.
I wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, I've got my.
I didn't win.
Who won the time on the renew? On the downtime. The answer is 2 hours, right?
Yeah, I don't think any of us.
24 hours.
Yeah, I don't think any of us got that right. So again, thanks everyone for joining. This was a lot of fun. I know me at least. I'm sure you will, Yamiks, Scorb, whoever. I will be live streaming it as soon as they go live on the beta goes live on Tuesday. I hope you'll come back by, and check that out. And we'll all share our thoughts about them, how they work and stuff. I'm sure I'll have a tutorial video out on a lot of it as quickly as I can. So that you guys can either live virtually through it or not. With that, why don't we all say a quick sign off, Scorbius?
Right, take care, everybody. It's been an absolute blast. Thank you to everybody who's joined in, and I hope this was entertaining. I hope we've answered some questions for you. And so I'll catch you guys later on.
Yeah, Gluttony.
Okay, thank you for having me. It was certainly a very informative and I think productive session. We all voiced our opinions in terms of what we believe is positive and negative, and let's see what happens in the beta.
Yeah. Pilot.
I hate it. I mean, no, it's fine. I don't hate it. It's fine. It'll be fine. This is fine.
Yamiks.
If not for the beating stick or the razor-covered dildo bat, I'd be fine-ish.
Well, and I will say...
otherwise, I hate it.
I'll say I don't hate it. I'm pretty psyched. Thanks again for everybody to stop by, and remember to fly dangerously. See you guys.